Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbe, and sports analyst, Chris McGowen.
From the 44 in Trojan territory, Jay's going right on your radio dial. He takes the snap, spins around, hands off to McGowen, breaks the first tackle, across the 40 to the 35 to the 30, 25 to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Blue Jays, Evan McGowen!
The way we used to be,
Good morning here on the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, wherever you are. Good morning. This is your wake-up call. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing good. Got my cup of Joe, ready to go. It's the last show.
It's great.
Of the 25-26 season, so...
Big show.
Big show.
We're with our sports analyst, Chris McGowen. Always great to have him on board here. We've got a jam-packed show. We are going to be announcing our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year for the 2025-2026 school year. In the next hour, we're going to be preparing through this hour. We'll talk to a couple of coaches as well in this hour as we get ready for the big-time announcement. It's a fun broadcast, Chris. This is a bittersweet moment because it's our last one for the year, but we take a couple of months off, come back in August. But it's one of my favorite broadcasts. It really is.
It is. Yeah, you're right. It is. Take the time to thank all of our sponsors. Build up to the major announcement of our Tyler Roth Athlete of the Year. So, yeah, it's a good time.
Well, we'll go ahead and talk about several things going on in our area. West Central's Jacoby Mills, track star. Of course, he was one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week back in the cross-country season, but he had a great track season as well. Wanted to congratulate him. He broke the West Central 800-meter record in the sectional with a second-place finish, a time of 2:02.44. The previous record was 2:02.75 set by Scott Teedy in 1991. So that record stood for a long time. And talking with Jacoby back in the fall, his eyes were set on several records this year, so I wanted to bring that up. He broke that record again at the regional meet with a 2.00 or 2-minute flat 0.77, placing 6th overall. So we wanted to congratulate Jacoby Mills of West Central. We also want to congratulate North Judson St. Pierre senior Mariah Lowe for not only breaking the school long jump record set by her just a week ago, but for also finishing 4th place in the Portage Track and Field Regional. Mariah's jump of 17 feet, 4.5 inches earned her a call back for being one of the top 30 jumps in the state during regional competitions. She will compete in the IHSAA Track and Field State Finals next week, Friday, June 5th at North Central High School. So congratulations to Mariah Lowe. We talked about her with Kylene Lambert, head coach of the track and field team there at NJSP. She's pretty good.
Yeah, she's pretty good, and the battle with all the injuries that she's gone through, so good for her to qualify for the state finals in her senior year, and wish her the best.
Another Blue Jay wanted to bring up junior Alex Cager, one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week this year. He had an incredible performance at the Valpo Regional. Alex punched his ticket to the IHSAA State Track and Field Finals in both the 110-meter hurdles and 300-meter hurdles with 2 outstanding third-place finishes. He also broke his own school record in the 300 hurdles with a time of 36 seconds flat.
36 or 39?
39, sorry. I tried to give you that, Alex.
Yeah.
39 seconds. Well, that's what you need to get. No. 39 seconds flat.
36 would be flat out flying.
I know. Well, I tried. He has something to think about now.
Right.
But 39 seconds flat, that he broke his own school record. Alex will compete at the Track and Field State Finals Saturday. It's just pretty impressive what they're doing there at North Judson. We talked with Brent Lambert last week as well, and man, they got some athletes over there at Judson. We've known that for the last however long it's been, forever.
Oh yeah, they got some dogs, that's for sure. I tell you what, what's impressive is the fact that Cager's only a junior.
I know.
He's only going to get better.
He is only going to get better, and Coach Lambert said he reminds him of Eric Materna, who went on to just do amazing things at Marian University. So that's somebody. If you're mimicking that tells you you're something.
That's a good role model.
We wanted to bring up also softball sectional championship action today for the South Central Lady Satellites taking on the Triton Lady Trojans. First pitch scheduled for 10 a.m. Central. Switching over to baseball, the West Central Trojans are in a semifinal sectional matchup with North White today. First pitch scheduled for 11 a.m. Eastern. The Winnemac Warriors unfortunately lost to Jimtown last night, 18-0. The Warriors went 11-12 on the year. A tough way to go out for the Warriors there against a good Jimtown team.
Yeah, they started off the season strong, went through that lull halfway through the season, lost 7 or 8 games in a row. Thought they righted the ship and went into sectionals and traveled to Jimtown last night and, came up a little short.
And, of course, we talked with head coach Mark Hendricks, what was it, last week?
Last week, yeah.
Just what he had to deal with over the last several months. We just been thinking of him, and we've been Mark Strong, but he said he's going to beat it, and he's close to beating that cancer. So been a tough year for him, and he thanked everybody that helped him out. But a great interview with Mark.
Yeah, it was a great interview, and just a little public service announcement and be making people aware of what's going on and what he's battling. So kudos to him and to that coaching staff and those players to be able to persevere through the year.
Yeah, tough loss last night for the Warriors. I'm sure Coach Hendricks will be missing his senior class. Then they multi-sport athletes. He's going to miss them. North Judson St. Pierre versus Triton today on the baseball diamond semifinal sectional matchup. 10 a.m. Central is the scheduled first pitch, so we wish the Jays good luck. Also, after that game, the Oregon Davis Bobcats are taking on the South Central Satellites. So both of those games, whoever wins, they get to the sectional championship game on Monday, and that's where we will be. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Oregon Davis has kind of turned things around here in the last several games. They're really making things happen, and Brady Danford has been the name everyone else has been talking about. Talk with head coach Brent Jones at South Central. He knows about Brady Danford. So coming into this game, they'll watch the Jays take on the Trojans first, and then following that game, the Bobcats take on South Central. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The history that South Central has for baseball.
Yeah. Coach
Jones says, he looks into the gym and there's a lot of sectional championship banners, and yet he's not been a part of one. He wants to be a part of one. So South Central is going to be hungry coming into today.
Yeah, at this point, it all comes down to just great pitching and timely hitting.
We now transition to our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. It was our very last one for the 2025-2026 season. It's volleyball star Logan Terkovitz. We got to see him on the basketball court. Man, Logan is just an amazing athlete, Chris. We called him the Swiss Army knife. He kind of just could do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he was definitely a matchup problem on the basketball floor because of his size and his length and his he can absolutely jump out of the gym. So, we're doing this, the Athlete of the Week, early because of everything else we got going on. So usually it's at the top of the second hour, but we're doing it now because of everything else we got going on today. But rightly deserved for Logan Terkovitz.
Logan set multiple school records this year for the Satellites. He set the season records with 60 aces and 399 kills. He set a match record of 24 kills against Boone Grove and set the career records of kills at 1,008 and 135 aces. He also had a 106 career blocks, 772 career digs. He was most recently named the Porter County Conference MVP. So without further ado, here is our final Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week interview with South Central senior. It's Logan Terkovitz.
Man, Logan, it's not the first time we talked, but this time around, it's, you've got some records behind you. And Coach Paul Fossauer was talking with us on the Saturday Sports Line a couple of times this season about the amazing work you've put into this sport. What is it about volleyball that gets you going like that? I mean, we saw you out on the basketball court, and you did an amazing job there, too. But from what I hear, volleyball is your sport, and what we talked last year. What is it about this sport that makes you get going?
Well, really, ever since freshman year, I picked it up, and it was the same group of guys. We all learned together. But I feel like volleyball really unlocked my athleticism, enabled me to become the better athlete and better person I am, and just made me who I am today. And that's what I love about it so much. And I had so much freedom, and we all just loved playing it so much. There wasn't restrictions or anything. we just had fun.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of athletic guys in our area, but Chris McGowen, our sports analyst, when he saw you in the basketball season, he's saying, man, I like that Logan Terkovitz. He's got to be one of the more athletic guys in our area. And it really showed true. That ending, that sectional basketball game or the sectional semifinal game against North Judson, it was almost a volleyball play for you. It was a nice lob pass from Jack Hatchell right to you, and you just made it happen there at the end. I know we're here for volleyball, but I wanted to bring that up because that moment has to be special for a memory for you for the future.
It is. It really is. It was super fun with those guys experiencing that. But I do like going back and watching it, and it really is looking like I just set the ball right into the hoop. And I don't know, I was just ready for volleyball or what was going on, but...
Well, you hit the ground running in volleyball, and the amount of records you set here, were the records on your mind, or were you just going out there to win?
Honestly, at the beginning of the season, I was 400 kills away from 1,000, and I wasn't really thinking that I was going to get it because last year we kind of crutched on me to get a lot of the kills, and we didn't have the best system. But I was really confident this year that we'll spread it around to everybody, and everybody's going to get a lot of kills, and I'm fine with that being the better team that getting 1,000 kills. And everybody was super good this year. We beat a lot of teams, but I ended up still hitting it, so that was just a cool milestone too along the way.
Yeah, and Coach Fossauer, we were talking about this senior class. I mean, Satellite Nation is going to miss this class, man. I'll tell you what, Logan, it's just so special. Of course, it has a special place for me because my first year broadcasting for WKVI was your guys' freshman year. So, to see you guys grow up, I mean, this is a special class. Talk about some of the other seniors and the camaraderie you're going to miss with some of these guys. I know Jay's one of them.
Yeah, Jay's been with me through basketball and volleyball. We got him on our sophomore year, but Jack, Noah, Jay, Rylan, Brady, all these seniors, we all started. Well, Jack, Noah, and Jay all were pretty good from basketball from the beginning. They've been connected very well. I had to grow into kind of get along with them and learn how to play with them. It was challenges at first. It had its challenges, but we all grew together and learned how to play. And then for volleyball, we had 9 out of 11 of our team were seniors, and we all been each other since day one, playing volleyball, and none of us knew how to. So our chemistry just grew crazily with each other.
One thing I know was that the goal was a sectional championship, and I know it didn't happen, but you guys got to the sectional championship game. Talk about the work throughout the season. I mean, it was such an amazing season record. You guys had so many wins out there on the court, and of course, getting back at Boone Grove, I know was Coach Fossauer's main objective to kind of get. I'm sure it did feel good, but talk about the season as a whole, leading up to sectionals and then your sectional run. Like I said, I know it didn't end the way you'd wanted it to, but to get to a championship game, just like you did in basketball, I mean, you did work hard throughout the season. So talk about the season as a whole and what you remember and what you thought was so cool.
I'm going to be honest, ever since the first game, I feel like we were pretty well put together and we flowed as we've been wanting to, and everything worked out perfectly. And I can't really look back on our season and say we needed to do a bunch of things differently, because we did great, right? And then towards sectionals, obviously we lost and it's sad, but I mean, going towards, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to kind of berate Indiana on this because their sectional, how they set it up is really sad and it screws a lot of teams over. Obviously, Couts, congratulations, they beat us fair and square, but they had a game. They had 3 sets, and it was an hour-long game, versus our game, we had 5 sets, and it was a 2-hour game, and then we had half the time to rest than they did. And it's you gave us a fair chance, a new day, it would have been a completely different game.
Yeah,
and I don't know if you watched Andrean and Lake Central. Andrean is obviously the region's favorite, swept everybody in the regular season, swept Lake Central, but they played second. They had they had even less of a time to rest than we did. I think they played at 12 and then played again at 2 or 3, or 4, I don't know, but they had no rest time, and then they got swept.
Yeah.
And that just should not have happened from that team. And I feel I look at that and I look back at our situation, and I think it's the exact same thing. I mean, we played 10 sets that day. Couts played 7?
Sure.
And it's I just don't feel it's very fair. Obviously, they deserve it. They played amazing. We couldn't stop them, but we were just not energized that day, and it just sucks to look at it like that.
Yeah, and that's a good point to bring up, because in other sports, basketball, you get a week off before the sectional championship game when you won in that semifinal game. So I totally understand where you're coming from there. That is something that maybe the IHSCA should be looking at. And hey, we don't have a problem calling them out on stuff. They don't have a problem calling us out on stuff. So
yeah.
But what are you going to miss most about high school? I know. Here's the last week of school. You're getting ready for summer break. What are you going to miss most?
volleyball with my friends, or there's not volleyball, just sports with my friends. Honestly, like, I was a little troubled playing basketball this year. I didn't know where my role was going to be, but like, I played because I wanted to be with my friends, and they made our season worth it. And I just enjoyed seeing everybody else win and being a part of that team with them. Even though we didn't end up winning a lot, I still had so much fun. I wouldn't change anything about it. But I mean, high school, I feel like I had a hard time because I just moved here in 8th grade, like transitioning in. And the high school is obviously just a hard time for a lot of people at the beginning, transitioning yourself into a new person, figuring out who you are, figuring out what you want to do. But I feel like at this school, I couldn't have been more lucky because all these guys are super nice. They let me in. I feel like everybody just lets everybody in. Everybody's super nice to each other. We don't have a lot of problems.
Sure.
It's a cool atmosphere here.
Well, tell us your parents' names.
Alyssa Quick and Alexander Quick.
And talk about the support system they've been for you throughout your entire schooling.
I mean, they've literally been at almost every single game since day one. Unless they physically could not make it, they were at every single one. They planned things around it. They were always there to support me. They were there for me after the game, always talking to me like what I need to do better, what I did do good, and like how to handle certain situations if I needed like some support or like advice. They were always there for me. Like, they were just my backbone of every single thing I did.
What's next for Logan Terkovitz? You know, we've talked with Coach Fossauer. He says you have the tools if you want to play volleyball at the next level. It's up to you. But what do you see the future for yourself?
I'm kind of struggling right now because I really do want to pursue volleyball, and I just don't know what college to go to for volleyball. I just haven't looked into enough. I haven't applied myself enough, sadly. But it would be really cool to play, but I think I'm just going to focus on my main education. Would rather do that than go get a degree I'm not really 100% about.
Sure.
And Valpo, I'm going to Valpo next year, and it's a really nice system set up. I have a lot of scholarship money going for me, and I'll get my bachelor's in 3 years and my master's in 4, and
cool.
It's going to be a good setup, so I'm excited.
What are you going to major in, or what do you hope to be?
So it's going to be, I'm majoring in integrated public health and healthcare leadership, and then I'll go down the path my 4th year, and I'll get a master's in healthcare leadership, and hope to become like a something in the healthcare management system.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What has it meant to Logan Terkovitz to be a South Central satellite?
Well, you know, these guys, we've always been such a good team, and we've given ourselves a pretty good reputation, and I've been proud playing as this team, and we don't always have the best outcomes, but we never stoop down and ruin our names or ruin our reputation. We always make everybody pretty proud, and we always just love seeing everybody come support us, and they keep supporting us after this year, or after all this, so yeah. I'm thinking we're doing something right, you know?
Well, Logan, I appreciate your time. Congratulations for being named one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week.
Thank you so much.
Well, I sure do thank Logan for his time. We also thank Athletic Director Chuck Wilhelm for helping me set this interview up, as that is our final Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week interview for the 2025-2026 school year, as we set the table for our new Athlete of the Year. More sports talk on the way, though. Don't go anywhere. This is the Saturday Sports Line.
Yeah. Check.
They'll get it in to Jack Hashel. Last 5 seconds here. Jack for the satellite season to continue. Jump off the Logan Terkovitz. The Satellites will win the game on a last-second shot. Logan Terkovitz, the lob pass.
And I'm never gonna stop. Grab a glass of OJ and you know I'm about to rock. Walking out the door, flying high, soar. Up in the clouds, time to put the pedal to the floor. New J's on my feet, I'm looking to sweep. 4 times in a row, you'll always be seeing defeat. Beat to the punchline.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbe and Chris McGowen on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox. Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989. Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
There's a trend happening around the educational world. More and more high school graduates are attending smaller community colleges to start their educational journey. At Marian University's Ancilla College, we welcome students from all walks of life. The opportunities at Marian University are endless, from living on campus to being a collegiate student athlete. From day one, your professors will help you create a plan for a success at Marian and beyond. Find out more about Marian University's Ancilla College through our website at marian.edu/Ancilla today.
It's time for more Kankakee Valley area sports talk worldwide on K99.3 FM and WKVI.com.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we transition to talk West Central track and field. And we have on the line head coach Becky Reed. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I don't know if I'm doing as fantastic as some of these athletes you have on this team. We've been keeping an eye on them through social media. Seems like it's been a good season, Coach. Talk about this team from top to bottom and what you've seen throughout the season.
Yes, we had 11 seniors this year, so it was really top-heavy as far as our talent goes and experience, and they were excellent leaders in all areas. You know, we had track, we had field event leaders, we had running leaders. We just had a lot of things happening this year. We've had two school records broken this year. We had Emily Bunger. She's a junior. She broke her own 300-meter hurdle record. And then Jacoby Mills, who qualified for, well, both of them qualified for the regionals this past week, but he at regionals just this past Thursday broke his own 800-meter school record, which previously had been held for like 35. It was a 35-year-old record.
Wow.
So, yeah, lots of good things there. We had two sectional champions this year in the shot put. We swept the shot put. Alana Caston on the girls' side and Dre Villarreal on the boys' side, both of whom also went to regionals. Alana PR'd at regionals and with a 37.4, I think it was, and she finished sixth place. And Dre just went. We had a few struggles with him. Shot puts didn't weigh. We had to borrow some, and just our throwing coach had just had knee surgery, so it was a little struggle. But he still managed to throw 30 or a 45, which was good for him, and not quite a PR, but still good. And he finished 13th, I think. We had the 4x8 relay team, which was had Jacoby Mills, which is I mentioned before, our senior, had two juniors, John Heilman, Ryan Richardson, and a freshman, Bo Skinner Lindahl, and they finished 13th and had a over 13-second season best time there at regional, so that was really good. And we just had, a bunch of other people, too. We had a fantastic senior 110-meter hurdler, Marcus Davis. He's going to be missed. We had, there was a bunch of kids that just really, really did well this year. And it was a fun team to coach. They're all extremely easy to coach. They listen, they make adaptations and train really hard. So yeah, we're gonna
Yeah, absolutely.
Had a good season.
Yeah, and I figured you would. We know several of these athletes from other sports. You've got several multi-sport athletes. We remember Dre Villarreal in the football season. He was one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week. I spoke with Jacoby Mills as well at the beginning of this school year. Of course, he did so well in cross country. And those guys, I know right off the top, they are goal-oriented, and they definitely when they have their mind made up, they go for things like they have done in breaking these records. Talk about some of the goals coming into this season. I'm sure not only they had goals, but other people had goals, and you had goals for this team as well.
Well, we always want to do well in conference. I think both of them finished 5th, which wasn't quite as high as we wanted, but still, considering we only had 9 boys on the team and 10 girls, that's quite a high placing for that against those, there's some tough schools in our conference. And then we always have the goal, of getting people out of sectionals to regionals. And this year was probably the highest number of athletes we've ever qualified for regionals, and definitely the highest placing. As a team, the girls, with 2 girls participating, they finished 15th out of over 30 schools. And you know how that is with non-classed sports. That for a tiny little school like West Central is a huge, I was just incredibly impressed with their performances.
Who all did you have coaching with you this year?
I have 2 paid assistants and 2 volunteers, and they are all phenomenal people. I have Greg Bushman. He works with, mainly the pole vault and the jumps, but he helps out with everything, hurdles and relays and everything. Hillary Dury, she does a lot of our administrative things. She is the one that organizes all the parents, all the workers at home meets. She takes care of a lot of other like statistical things and then helps out just with morale and kind of keeping track of who's there and who isn't. And then I have a volunteer that does all the distance. He works with them, incredible guy named Quentin Harper, and then he's a former athlete for us too. And then Brad Ball volunteered to help with the throwers, and he's the reason we had 2 sectional champions this year in shot put.
Wow. And that helps having a good crew behind you to kind of help lead this team. How long have you been coaching?
Well, I started with middle school, and I've been 26 years altogether.
Wow.
But I was with the middle school for 5 of those. So. And
did you go to West Central?
I did.
So 26 years total coaching. That's a big commitment, Coach. What is it about coaching you love?
The athletes. I just really enjoy working with them. I love it when, they, like you said, we were talking about these goal-oriented kids, and, it is just so satisfying as a coach to see them meet those goals, to work hard, see those kids that are hard workers, not necessarily maybe the most naturally gifted, but they've worked really hard to hone their abilities, and then that work pays off. That's what I like. And I also like the kid who comes out just because they want to do a sport and they don't know anything about track and field, but yet they can see themselves improving week after week, and getting better and learning things. That's fun. That's fun for me. I just enjoy that. And I had a couple of school records at West Central. One of them was a 4x4 it had been around for over 20 years. And then I coached a team of girls that broke that. That was fun.
Wow.
So
you can still say you're somewhat a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Man, Coach, well, I appreciate you hopping on here and talking with us, and I've been keeping an eye on social media. You guys have been doing great this year. Of course, I remember Jacoby and Dre Villarreal, and we know Emily Bunger, the name, of course. Talk about multi-sport athletes, how important that is to have, especially on a track and field team. I'm sure having a kid, come out for track and field that doesn't play any sports, you love, but having individuals that are in shape and that have been in other sports throughout the season, I'm sure that makes your job that much easier.
Oh, yeah. And we, as a small school, we have to have those multi-sport athletes. We don't have the luxury of having a kid that specializes in one thing, especially a top athlete. So yeah, it's great to have those kids that already have multiple disciplines of, body control, knowing how to sprint already, or how to use their arms properly, how to, just to perform athletically under pressure. That's a huge thing. And track is so mental. I don't think people realize, how mental discipline is, how much mental discipline is required to be a good athlete, how much your mind has to do with pushing yourself to the best possible performance, and how the technique, the muscle memory, and all the things that you learn by doing multiple sports, how much that all comes together when you're throwing shot put, discus, high jump, long jump, all coming out of the blocks. All of those things are improved by having learned to do other types of things like shooting or blocking or whatever that might be.
Well, Coach, I sure do appreciate your time. Thanks so much for hopping on here. We'll keep in touch over the summer, I'm sure, into next year, and we'll see what happens in the future for you and the Trojans.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your having me.
All right, that is head coach of the West Central track and field team, Becky Reed, here on the Saturday Sports Line. Taking a break. More sports talk after this.
Entry pass stolen. He tried to find Parker Zider. It's Tate Lehman. Brings it across half court. Picks up his dribble. Gets it to Brendan Grindstaff. Grindstaff open three. Pops it. Got it! Far side of the floor. Connor Huber inside to Grady Bishop. Back out. Zane Wall. Three. Top of the key. Splash. Zane Wall. The big man.
Frayne Mortuary in Winnemac is family-owned and operated with 3 locations serving Pulaski County and the surrounding communities. Frayne Mortuary has provided our community with caring and compassionate service for loved ones. Our licensed staff is available to assist you with pre-need funeral planning and at-need funeral planning. We provide traditional burial and cremation services. We offer a full line of headstones and monuments at Frayne Mortuary in Winnemac. It's our family serving your family.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbe on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
LAP Waste now has toter services for residential customers. Here's Honey Lamer.
We've been working on this project for a while now, and we are super excited that we're finally able to offer the service to our community.
Here's Kirby Anderson.
We really want to concentrate on North Judson, Winnemac, Knox, Culver, Hamlet, Grovertown, Kewanna, and
of course Monterey.
Yes.
Hometown, right?
Right.
Weekly residential trash services now offered from LAP Waste.
Just give us a call at 574-542-4019 and we'll get you all set up.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
As the next play shows Jonas McEwen, deep ball down the far near sideline to Caleb McEwen. It's in the air, and he comes up with the catch at the 10. Flag on the play. McEwen to McEwen again.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we now transition to talk South Central baseball with head coach Brent Jones. I've got him on the line. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Mitch. How are we doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Man, you guys started off the sectional run strong, beating Culver Community 7-0. Let's talk about that game on the 28th. How did it go from your perspective?
Yeah, it was a game that you come in, we had 10 days off from our last game, so it's either you come in, you look like you haven't played in 10 days, or you come in and you look like a refreshed baseball team, and we were fortunate that we looked like the refreshed and ready to go baseball team. And again, it was 7-0, but it was did not feel like that the whole game. It was 2-0 through 6 innings of baseball. So we were fortunate up there to pull away at the end, but it was a good baseball game for us to get back going.
You win 11-8 on the regular season. You finished off the season against a couple of good teams that you had to take some tough losses to, Kankakee Valley and Morgan Township. Are those the kind of games that you think prepare you for a good sectional run?
Yes, absolutely. Playing teams like that is what makes your team better. You give them experience playing in good quality baseball games where the pitching's going to be good. Their defense, they're going to make plays behind their defense, and they put pressure on us to make plays on defense. So yes, absolutely prepares us for sectional in this time of year right now.
Went 5-2 in the Porter County Conference, and we've talked about the PCC and how competitive it is. That was good enough for third in the conference. I know you and your goals were to at least try to get the conference, but to be third in the PCC, I think that's a testament to the work you guys have been putting in, I'd hope.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, each year at South Central, your goal is to win the PCC. Now, this year, we knew Couch was going to be a tremendous ball club, and we knew Morgan was going to be a tremendous ball club. But they got the better of us those 2 games, but we were able to take care of business for the other ones. And, when the season wraps up, you look back and you think to yourself, you know what, that really wasn't too bad of a season for us in the PCC.
You'll be taking on Oregon Davis today. I know it's dependent on when North Judson, Santerre, and Triton game ends. Their game will be starting at 10 a.m. Central, so you guys are kind of hanging out and waiting around. But you're going to be taking on an Oregon Davis team who here towards the latter portion of the season, it seems like kind of got things rolling along. Is there anything you know at this time about Oregon Davis? Of course, we've been talking with Oregon Davis, and, that Brady Danford, he's pretty good on the mound. I assume you may see him.
Yes, they're a very dangerous team. They're a team that they're athletic, and like you said, they got a couple good arms. They threw their number 1, I assume, there against Elkhart Christian. He had a phenomenal game, and now we're going to see their number 2. And statistically speaking, he looks very, very good. So again, they're an athletic team, and they can do stuff on the base pass. So if we don't come out playing focused, good, solid baseball, it's gonna be a dogfight. We know that going into it.
Talk about some of the guys on this team that have really come together since the last time we talked, and maybe made strides or taken steps to get better at the game from your perspective.
Yeah, I think our middle infield has continuously gotten better throughout the season. Carson Rinker and Tay Falls, they're phenomenal. Watch up the middle. I don't know off the top of my head, but I bet we've had at least 10 double plays turned in the middle. Offensively, Fisher Trowski, he's caught every inning for us this year, and he's getting the bat going offensively, which is impressive. Obviously catching every inning for us this season. And then you look at guys like Hunter Like, he's swinging a good bat for us. He's the guy that kind of brings some juice to our lineup. He had a triple for us the other night against Culver. Triple in Culver in the last inning there to get us sparked. So, yeah, it's been good to watch him get the bat going as well.
One thing I like when I see the stats is all the arms you've had this season, getting a lot of time in for some guys, and that's something that Coach Kevin Hannon always talks about on the broadcast. He's our color commentator. I think you've met a couple of times. Yep. He says, when you get more and more arms going, especially in this pitch count era, that's helpful. And when I look at your pitching staff, you've got a lot of guys you've given some time there on the mound.
Yeah, and again, we knew that going into the season. Obviously, Colton Elkins has been our inning eater, and he's done a phenomenal job for us. And then, we got a handful of guys that we rely on to fill up innings for us. Jacob Zube is a senior that really hasn't had much playing time, but this year he stepped up and done a phenomenal job on the mound for us. And you got a guy like Brody Grass that he's going to be starting for us today. Again, he's had positive days, and he's had days where he struggled, but he's got the 6'8" frame. So as long as he can put the ball over the plate, he's not a comfortable guy to hit off of.
And it's probably comfortable that you're hosting this sectional too.
Yes, there's pros and cons to it. You look throughout the week leading up to it. Wednesday, we don't have a field to practice on because obviously we're hosting. But as far as the game goes, it feels very comfortable sitting in your home dugout, being at your own place. So yes, I do enjoy it. It's a lot of work getting the field ready to go, but it's all worth it.
Somebody was talking to me the other day. I was at the South Central softball game. They beat Culver in that matchup, and they had told me the first game was going to be at South Central, but the second game that evening had to be done at LaPorte due since the fact that they have lights. Can you talk about that, how that scenario worked out?
Yeah, so Culver, I know for sure. They have graduation on Friday night, so they weren't able to play a baseball game on Friday. So they had to bump our game to Thursday, where we were able to get the 4:00 game, and then Oregon Davis and Elkhart Christian then got bumped to LaPorte for the 7:00 game. And again, the umpires had the worst of it. They had to ump the 4:00 game at South Central, and then bust their tails over to LaPorte and ump the 7:00 game over there. So, again, just graduation ceremony type things. So we had to make some accommodations. And Mr. Fulkins downstate gave the approval for the 4-7 game on Thursday.
Man, that's great that you guys work together with LaPorte, but that's a lot of moving around. But I just found that interesting when I was talking to some of the guys the other day. But back to this game here against Oregon Davis, we talk about Tay Falls, and he's leading the team with batting average of .484 and an on-base percentage of .598. He also leads the team in OPS 1.259. Does it all start with him making sure he leads things off with that energy?
Yes, and again, he knows that. We talk to him every day. For this team to go, he's going to have to go offensively. He's the spark force. He's electric on the base pass. He does so much more. Obviously, statistically speaking, there you can see the numbers are off the chart. But him on the bases, he's a smart baseball player. He makes teams make plays on him. When he's on the base, our team's excited because they know something special is about to happen. So yeah, he finds a way on, and guys behind him start moving the baseball, and then good things start to happen.
You able to share with us who you think you're going to have on the mound today?
Yeah, we're Brody Grass is getting the baseball today. Again, he's been an arm that we've relied on, so hopefully he comes out, gives us, not looking for 6-7 innings for him. We're looking for give us 4 innings, and hopefully we're in a baseball game and we can start getting to the pen after that.
Yeah, Grass, a great ERA, a 3.91 ERA. That's somebody you can rely on, it sounds like. And like you said, if you can get him to 5-6 innings, then you bring some guys in for relief. Could be a big satellite win, I think you're hoping for here.
Hey, it's year 3 now, and I've yet to win a sectional for South Central. Like I say all the time, you look at our gymnasium, there is sectional after sectional, and it's my time to do my part, and I got to carry the tradition of South Central baseball. So yes, all focus is on Oregon Davis here, and we got to take care of business today.
Love the energy, Coach. Good luck today, and maybe we'll see you on Monday. I've got approved for that game on Monday, so maybe it'll be you in the championship game. We'll see you Monday then.
I hope to see you Monday, Mitch. Thank you.
All right, that is head coach of the South Central Satellites, Brent Jones, here on the Saturday Sports Line. Taking a break, coming back.
Next pitch, Jensen deals, popped up high by Madsen, back to center field. It'll be a home run.
Holy cow!
The Jays will take the lead. Molly Madsen returns the favor from Monday night. A huge home run by Cheryl Barnes on Monday. Molly says it's my turn now.
That ball would not be allowed to be buried in some Jewish cemeteries because it just got tattooed.
Hines double comes, hands off to Potoff, drives baseline, and he gets it off the glass, and he smiles at the Blue Jay bench as well. Nava, 3 on the way, too hard, rebounded by Candace Croft, 2:30 to go in the ball game. It's all Warriors here in the War on 35. Here's the 3, top of the key. Candace Croft! She does it!
Let's go!
Candace Croft, another record, and you heard it here first on WKVI.
A little wave to the sister there, sitting right in front of us.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbe and Chris McGowen on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
You're listening to Mitch Columbe and Chris McGowen on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Takes it, steps back, looking to throw. Another one down the middle. Binwell will come up with the catch at the 45. Oh, man. What a play. Big time pass play will now put it in Redskin territory on 3rd and 12.
25 guys. The Falcons are able to get out of that.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we prepare for our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. This year marks the 25th Athlete of the Year. It also marks the 25th year since Tyler Roth's passing. Kind of crazy that it's been 25 years, Chris.
Yeah, it is. Think about that. 25 years ago, my brother was named the first Tyler Roth Athlete of the Year. God, making me feel old. I'm not going to lie. Of course, all this gray hair makes me look old, but yeah. Wow. 25 years. It's amazing that you think back over all the time, and just it seems like yesterday.
Well, of course, we'll talk with Tim Roth in the next hour after we announce our new Athlete of the Year, but we will go down the list of all of our Athlete of the Week award winners throughout this school year. Every Athlete of the Week gets a certificate with their name on it, of course, but within the packet that we give them, along with a T-shirt, they also get a history of the award, and the history of the award sheet reads this. This award is given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winnemac High School who died as a result of a tragic car accident on June 1st, 2001. That was just 1 week after his high school graduation. Tyler was an accomplished athlete, starring in 3 sports and winning 10 varsity letters. He was All Midwest Conference in baseball his junior year and All Midwest Conference in football for 3 years. He was named All-State in football by the Indiana Football Coaches Association in both his junior and senior years and was named posthumously to the 2001 North All-Star football team. He was bound for Earlham College to play football after high school, something I'm sure, Chris, they really were looking forward to seeing him play at the next level. So sad.
Oh, yeah. He was definitely a key part in their recruiting class that year. So he was a tremendous athlete, tremendous football player. He was going to do big things.
More than an athlete, Tyler was a quiet leader and an honor roll student. He served on the student council for 3 years and as student body president his senior year. So that tells you he was well liked at Winnemac. Tyler also, no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, he was definitely kind of a social butterfly, really. He just wasn't one of those, one of those quote unquote jocks that just was kind of arrogant and egotistical. No, he mingled with everybody.
Tyler also participated in drama for 4 years, winning an Oscar his senior year. Away from school, Tyler was active in 4-H, garnering numerous championships, concentrating on his beef projects. Tyler was a lifelong member of St. Peter's Catholic Church. The legacy of Tyler Roth is one of leadership, hard work, outstanding citizenship, and superior athletic performance. The spirit of Tyler Roth lives on in the recipients of the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week Award, as well as the Athlete of the Year Award. We'll now go down the list of all of our Athletes of the Week. Of course, each Athlete of the Week, we have talked about this before, you can only be named the Athlete of the Week once. And the reason because of that is so that we can give more shine to more athletes in our area rather than have the same athlete multiple times throughout the year in different sports. Once that athlete gets that Athlete of the Week, then they are also considered for the Athlete of the Year. Same situation on our other station, KVB's Max 98.3 FM. We started the Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 Athlete of the Week as well as the Athlete of the Year. We congratulate Ileana Grubbs from Bremen as she was named this morning on the Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Rusty Nixon, the Max 98.3, the Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 FM Athlete of the Year. You can catch that post on all of our social media sites. They're on Facebook, Sports to the Max, and read all of her achievements. Of course, Max covers 8 schools in the Marshall County area: Bremen, Triton, Argus, Plymouth, Culver Academies, Culver Community, John Glenn, and LaVille. Here on that's where Max pulls their Athletes of the Week as well as their Athlete of the Year from. Here on WKVI, we cover West Central, Winnemac, Culver Community, Knox, North Judson, Sanpere, Oregon Davis, South Central, and Tri-Township, formerly La Crosse. So that is where WKVI pulls their Athletes of the Week as well as our Athlete of the Year. So here is the list of the 2025-2026 Athletes of the Week here on WKVI All of these individuals were up for consideration for the Athlete of the Year. So we start back on the week of August 25th. It was right off the fresh Week 1 football where the Knox Redskins beat the North Judson-Santerre Blue Jays 38-6. Our very first Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week was Knox senior Myles McLaughlin. You know a little thing about him? Anything at all?
Just a little bit, yeah. Something about, I don't know, he rushed for like 7 miles. I don't know.
Yeah, Myles'
career.
What's there to say about Myles? Just one of those guys, Mr. Football in Indiana, broke the state record in rushing yards as well as third in the nation.
Too many numerous records to count. But again, you talk about how we do this, and you can only be named Athlete of the Week once, because let's be honest, during the football season, he probably could have won it 9 or 10 times.
Sure, absolutely.
So yeah, we want to spread the wealth, they like to say.
Yeah. After Myles McLaughlin was a senior volleyball player from South Central Brooklyn Jones, then senior cross country runner Jacoby Mills, which we talked about him just a moment ago, doing so well in track and field here in the spring. Next was Culver junior soccer player Brooke Davis. Then Knox senior volleyball player Rylan Jordan. Then it was junior soccer star Sean Stark from Winamac. Then senior volleyball player from North Judson-Santerre Grace Craig. Then was senior cross-country runner from Winamac Logan Friedel. Then was Knox senior football Kane Weber. I always like Kane. He's a multi-sport athlete as well. He did so well for the Redskins.
Yeah, he was always, especially defensively for the Redskins, always at middle linebacker. Anytime they needed a big stop, it seemed like Kane Weber was the one that came up with the play.
After Kane was sophomore cross-country runner for North Judson-Santerre Michaela Simons. Then was Knox senior football player Keegan Everidge. Then we had Knox senior football player Isaac Singleton. Then we had senior basketball player Candace Croft, and Candace Croft is going to play basketball at the next level there at Franklin College. Of course, she broke so many records there at Winamac. Head coach Tony Stasiak always talks so highly of her. Set the most threes made in a career, most threes made in a season, threes made in a single game. 1,000-point score, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of what's amazing is a lot of those records that she broke were held by her sister, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't that cool?
I can only imagine the smack talk that was talked in the Croft household.
After Candace Croft, then in November, this was November 22nd, Sarah Thompson, Oregon Davis senior basketball player. Sarah Thompson, a great basketball player over the 4 years there at Oregon Davis.
Another 1,000-point scorer, yeah.
And she will be missed. Then we went to North Judson-Santerre junior basketball player Xander Nowak. Then West Central basketball player, sophomore Brady Bishop. He's somebody that's going to be something for West Central the next couple years. You should be scared of that guy. He's going to score at will.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely his range is anywhere across half court, so he can pull it from anywhere. You better be ready defensively. But, yeah, only a sophomore. Coach Odom has 2 more years with Brady Bishop. Wow, that'd be a lot of fun.
Hard to believe those first 2 are already over. We then went to South Central senior basketball player Jay Huerta. Always loved watching Jay Huerta out on the basketball court since he was a freshman. That was my first year here. He is committed to play at the JUCO level, basketball at the next level. So, I mean, we kind of knew he was just one of those guys. I always said he was kind of like a swing man. He could make things happen there out on the court, and he was the guy, whenever the ball was in his hands, you knew he was going to make something happen.
Yeah, another kid whose range was pretty much anywhere in the gym could pull it from. So it's nice when you coaching basketball when you have a guy like that, like a Brady Bishop or a Jay Huerta, who forces the defense to come out and guard you, and then that just opens up everything else. And so, Jay was a lot of fun to watch.
Then we had on January 10th in the new year, junior wrestler from West Central, Chloe Oksher. What Kenny Nielsen does there at West Central is just amazing. The wrestling program and also the girls wrestling program, it's just, he does such a good job there. But Chloe Oksher, great interview there from West Central. Then January 17th was junior basketball player from North Judson-Santerre High School, Kaylin Tunis. We always brought her name up throughout the basketball season. She's a shooter. She is a very good shooter.
Yeah, very streaky shooter, but once she gets on, man, it's
lights out.
Lights out, and we thought she was going to set the school record for threes in a game when we did the game at
so
Oregon
close.
Davis, where she got named Athlete of the Week. Again, just fun to watch, and again, a nice player to have when you can stretch the floor with your range.
Then was junior swimmer from Knox Community High School, Alex Walsmith. He had a great season, also a great track season from what I'm seeing online and from talking with Pat Compton. Then we had senior basketball player from Winamac, Ethan Burgess. That senior class at Winamac's going to be sorely missed.
Oh yeah, a lot of success in every aspect. That's a good group, and it's going to be a hard group to say goodbye to.
In fact, that was on January 31st off the Winamac Warriors win over West Central, which we did that game together. That had to have been one of the better games on the basketball court we saw this year.
Yeah, went into overtime, and it's one of those games where you hate to see a team lose, but somebody had to go home with the L that night, and I tell you what, I think the senior leadership of Winamac pulled through that night.
Burgess was on fire that night. Then on February 7th was junior wrestler from North Judson St. Pierre, Jeremiah McKinney. He went far into the postseason, Chris, and did so well. Just really good wrestling program. I know your brother Danny McGowen does a good job there in JSP.
Yeah, would like to get the numbers up, but hey, Rome wasn't built in a day, and he'll get it done.
Then was junior basketball player from West Central, Macy Allen. We always get to talk with her dad, David Allen, head coach of the West Central Baseball Club. Of course, they're in action today. We wish the Trojans good luck. But we saw him there after their tough loss at regional against Elkhart Christian Academy. There we went to get dinner, and he came up to talk to us. And,
right.
Sad way that the Trojans in, but she's still got a year to go. She's a junior, so very excited to see what happens for next year for the Trojans. Then we had junior wrestler from Winamac, Tierson Wolford. We remember him on the football field as well for the Warriors, a great athlete.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he made it to state in wrestling. So
yes,
a very good season for Tierson.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk with head coach Colin Day at the end of.
We're actually down at state. Yeah,
he was in Indianapolis at the hotel. That was pretty cool for Tierson Wolford. Then we had junior basketball player from West Central, Brendan Grindstaff. Then it was senior gymnast from Knox, Ella Dollahan, and something I wanted to talk about Ella, just like Myles McLaughlin. She's a 4-time winner of this Athlete of the Week award, and when you think about it, you only get it once a year, so that means they were freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and from talking with Harold Welter, that's a very rare occurrence. And Ella Dollahan, I mean, the amount of medals, that picture, you think about all the medals she had on her arms and around her neck. Ella Dollahan was the lone gymnast for Knox over the last 4 years, and she did a fantastic job. And when you win this award 4 times, that means you're one of the elite in the area.
And I got to be honest with you, that's probably one of the sports that I would have no clue how to coach. One of the very few.
Just do a lot of stretching.
Yeah. Roll around. I don't know.
Then we have a senior basketball player from South Central, Jack Haschel. You've heard the play a little bit earlier, that amazing play to Logan Terkovitz there at the end to beat the Jays. I know that's a tough one for you there, Chris, but that was an amazing play, Jack Haschel, and a great interview as well.
Again, that was just a great basketball game that night, and you hated to see a team lose. But, the quarterback, or, well, actually not the quarterback, but quarterback on the basketball team just making the play and finding Terkovitz. It is what it is. I mean, just athletes making plays.
Then next we had junior volleyball player from South Central, Jake Bunce. Then freshman softball player from South Central, Brooklyn Burns. Freshman.
Yep. So, the freshman, so could be a possible another four-time Athlete of the Week winner.
Then was senior softball player from Winamac, Brooke Roush. Didn't end the way that Brooke and the rest of the Warriors wanted it to against Jimtown the other night there at Bremen, that sectional. Man, it was a tough one to watch. But overall, Brooke Roush had a great 4 years there at Winamac, and she'll be missed by Warrior Nation as well.
Oh, yeah, and when I saw that score, it kind of shocked me because Winamac was scoring runs at will all season, and whoever Jimtown had in the circle that night definitely had Winamac's number, but to be shut out kind of shocked me.
After Brooke Roush, we had senior pole vaulter Kayla Schlater. Kayla broke the school record, set the school record in pole vault. Kind of a new sport there at West Central. She's kind of leading the charge and setting the bar high, no pun intended. But she's very good and a good athlete. She'll be missed as a senior as well at West Central. Then we had junior track star from North Judson St. Pierre, Alex Cager. We talked about him heading to state. That's going to be exciting for him.
Yeah, keeps breaking school records, but all the records now that are owned by him, he keeps breaking his own records. So again, that 110-meter high hurdle, I guess, in the regional finals was something to see because he was actually number one. He actually was the quickest time in the preliminaries, but the two that ran sub 15, and that's impressive.
Crazy. Then we had senior track and field star from Knox Community High School, Amelia Brackman. She is going to UCLA. And, I need to ask Harold Welter, how many Knox Redskins have graduated and gone to UCLA?
I don't think there's been very many, if any at all. Whether any have gone to California would be probably not very many. But, it just reminds me of the Led Zeppelin song, Going to California. But anyway.
And from what I understand, she's in the running to be valedictorian potentially. I'm not sure if she is. She is going to be valedictorian. So Amelia Brackman, a great athlete and also just overall a great student. Then was, after her, sophomore track star from Culver, Ava McCune.
Another one just keeps breaking records, her own records, setting them and then breaking them. So only a sophomore?
Yeah, she was an athlete of the week last year as well.
So there we go. I would think that the way the track career is projecting, she's probably going to make it two more times.
We'll see what happens.
Right.
Then next we had senior softball player from Knox Community High School, Cheryl Barnes. I mean, the list that she achieved there at Knox, really surprising. This is the only time she actually was a Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week throughout her 4 years. But the record she set on the softball diamond is immense. Career home runs record, season record, RBIs. It's just incredible.
She's going on to play in Massachusetts,
Leslie
right?
University.
Right.
Just an hour south of where her older sister Bethany Barnes is. So that'll be a good reconnection for them.
Well, it will be. And I think it might be a hot vacation spot for the Welter family.
Yeah, they're going to be out east hanging out. That'll be fun for right. Harold and them. And then finally, our last Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for consideration of Athlete of the Year was South Central senior volleyball player Logan Terkovitz. We heard his interview at the top of this last hour. We go down the list now of all of our Athlete of the Years since 2002. We start in 2002, like I said, North Judson St. Pierre senior Danny McGowen. Then in 2003 was Knox senior Corey Mason. 2004 was Winnemac senior Wendy Fritz. 2005 was John Glenn senior Joe Curtis. 2006 was West Central senior Grant Davis. 2007 was Oregon Davis Jr., our only junior on this list, Sarah Conkey. And then in 2008 was Oregon Davis senior Sarah Conkey, our only back-to-back winner, our only two-time winner of this prestigious award. In 2009 was Winnemac senior Erica Redwick. In 2010 was John Glenn senior Andrew Alexander. 2011 was Culver Community senior Jeremiah Harvey. 2012 was West Central senior Marissa Hamilton. 2013 was Culver senior Matt Herford. 2014 was Oregon Davis senior Ashley Campbell. 2015 was Winnemac senior Dalton Button. 2016 was South Central senior Riley Popplewell. 2017 was Winnemac senior Jack DeGroot. 2018 was Knox senior Cooper Broker. 2019 was North Judson St. Pierre senior Lauren Cox. 2020 was South Central senior Amber Wolf. 2021 was North Judson St. Pierre senior Lillian Frazier. 2022 was South Central senior Lauren Bomar. 2023 was South Central senior Olivia Marks. 2024 was Winnemac senior Maggie Smith. And last year, 2025, was North Judson St. Pierre senior Cole Kozakar. Winnemac is in the lead with 5 Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award recipients. North Judson, St. Pierre, and South Central are tied for second with 4. Oregon Davis in third with 3. Knox Community High School, John Glenn and Culver Community, as well as West Central are all tied with 2 Athlete of the Years, and Tri-Township, formerly Lacrosse, is still searching for their first Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. When you think about all the schools we cover, it's pretty impressive when you think about it, because the Athlete of the Week or year gets to say he or she was considered the best out of all those schools that particular week or year. That's another thing I think is very special to what WKVI does for the community.
Oh, it is. It's something that people look forward to, and like I said, it's hard to believe that this started 25 years ago from a tragedy, but you taking that tragedy and turn it into something positive. The scholarship that's given with the Athlete of the Year award, it is definitely helpful, especially when it comes to buying books for college. But again, to take something that was so tragic and to turn it into something positive for 25 years and to keep it going is just monumental for the station. And I'm very grateful to be having been a part of it now for almost a decade. It means a lot.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of those athletes you remember over the years when you rack your brain. Is any of the Athlete of the Years you kind of remember, like, oh man, I remember that year?
Actually, all of them. You look at, Lauren Cox. Let's go back to her, winning a very first ever state championship in any sport in North Judson history in volleyball. My brother, the first one, him
going on to play for Purdue.
Yeah, he walked on at Purdue, earned a full ride scholarship, and just how proud I am of him for being able to do that, to walk on and actually, he got to play in some big time games. I mean, I remember going to Notre Dame and watching him, he put his hand in the dirt for about 25, 30 snaps in that game against Notre Dame. I said, you're playing against Notre Dame, dude.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. And Jeremiah Harvey from Culver winning the state championship in wrestling. It's just all the athletes, Lillian Frazier, what she was able to do, or Frazier, I think was it Lily? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just what, I had to coach against her. I'm still having nightmares trying to game plan for her, but just one of those things. It is what it is. But all these athletes are just tremendous athletes, but more importantly, they're also tremendous people. They've all gone on to become successful in their post-high school careers. So that's just as important as what they've done in their 4 years of high school.
Well, we'll take a quick break and come back. We're going to talk with Scott Roudebush, the individual from the Roudebush Company, his company there south of Winamac there in Star City that puts these plaques together. Of course, the Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 Athlete of the Year plaque, as well as our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year plaque. We catch up with Scott. Interesting history there from Winamac. He talks about making these wonderful, beautiful plaques. It's fun to get with Scott every spring. He does such a great job. So I wanted to talk with him. And you've met Scott?
Oh, I know Scott, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So stand by. We're going to take a break, come back, talk with Scott Roudebush, and then we will prepare to announce our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. Here on the Saturday Sports Line, we're so glad you joined us. It's the final Saturday Sports Line of the 2025-2026 school year. We're so glad you are with us. Scout Roudebush on the other side. We're preparing for our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. Don't go anywhere.
Inside, nice find to McGowen, to the other McGowen. No good on the lob pass, couldn't get a second chance. Rebounded by Zorich, back out far corner. 3 by John Carr.
'Cause I got what you want. You got what I need.
Falls will hit one deep
again
between left and center field. It'll be a base hit. Actually, it'll be a double. So Falls will get to 2. He gets bombed from first to third, and 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, he hit that ball well to the left center field gap right in between, and obviously Baum has good speed to go first to third, and then Falls just followed him right into second.
Mitch, he's going to take it, steps back, looks to throw, he's going to throw, intercepted by the Redskins. It's Isaac Singleton to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the
the 50, 40, 35, 30, and he's tackled at the 29, and that will be the end of the first half. Chase Fletcher saves it, fading away in the paint, and he got it. That's a beauty. Chase Fletcher. Rip back to left field, and it stays fair. Perfect placement. And Boyd will get all the way to 3.
Big relay coming up here. Okay, he stops him late. Good call by Coach Waters there. Second and third with 2 outs.
Chambers crosses half court. Stolen from behind by Chase Fletcher. Easton Carbide has it. He'll bring it forward. Last 5 seconds here.
Shoot it.
Over to Cole Jordan. Back to Myles McLaughlin. 3! McLaughlin ends the third on a high note, and we're going to take a break and come back.
More people are switching to Surf Internet because they've had enough with slow speeds, rising bills, and internet that struggles when everyone is online. Here's what your neighbors Anita and Anthony had to say after they switched.
Great value, awesome speeds, and 0 issues.
We should have switched sooner. Switching is easy. Plans start at just $30 a month with AutoPay, with free installation, all-in pricing, and no contracts. Visit surfinternet.com today. Restrictions apply. Not all speeds available in all areas.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbe on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
Listen for more insight in local high school sports on the Saturday Sports Line. Here's your sports director, Mitch Columbe.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Line as we prepare for the big-time announcement of our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award recipient. I had a chance to catch up with the individual that makes these beautiful plaques from the Roudebush Company. It is Scott Roudebush. I always have a fun time getting with him and getting this project put together. He, of course, not only made the plaque for the athlete that we present to them, but he also updates the plaque that stays here in the WKVI lobby with all the award winners. He is very, very talented at doing what he does, and it's always fun to catch up with him. He has a great history. Not only was he tasked with working with us here at WKVI, we started the new project of our new Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 FM Athlete of the Year. That plaque was also made in conjunction. Both WKVI and Max 98.3 FM both have Athlete of the Weeks and now Athlete of the Years. Without further ado, here is my chat with Scott Roudebush of the Roudebush Company.
I always love talking to you, Scott, because we get a chance to come and meet together and look at the plaques that you've made, these beautiful plaques that you've made for the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year, along with the new Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 FM Athlete of the Year. This is really cool what we're doing, adding in Max 98.3. I wanted to have you on because I know you have a history with Winamac Sports and, of course, your family, a big-time name at Winamac. But also I wanted to talk about the work behind the scenes in getting these plaques together. You know, this isn't all that you do here at the Roudebush Company, but talk about putting these plaques together and what the work that goes into it from your perspective.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the business. Thank you very much. And we worked pretty hard to make these plaques pretty nice. We put the picture on there, Tony the Boss Ross picture turned out awesome on here, and we can memorialize somebody and make it look really cool and immortalize their name forever. And we can make it look really, really cool. So if anybody wants a picture of a loved one or something on a plaque or on a bench or anything like that, we can do that and we can make that work. The other thing is I like the idea that you're doing another Athlete of the Year. The more athletes that get their name out there and and rewarded for their efforts and their hard work, then that's great, So I think it's a great idea on the part of you guys as a radio station. And but we do that on our park benches. We make a lot of park benches here. We're in eBay and Etsy and Amazon, and we have 3 websites, and we put these plaques on a lot of our benches with a person's picture in memory of, or a scripture or something they said, and we work really hard to make these things cool. And my philosophy is, if I wouldn't want it for me, then we're not going to ship it out the door to the customer. So we're pretty versatile in what we can do. But park benches is our baby. But we can make plaques and trophies and anything you might want.
Yeah, they really turned out great. The Athlete of the Year plaque that we'll be giving to the athlete, a beautiful gloss, a black background with I love the new design we've got, the gold and black lettering on top of that. And then also the Athlete of the Year plaques that have all the names of all the winners. Of course, on Max, it'll be the very first winner. Those will be housed, of course, here at the WKVI studio. And then the Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 Athlete of the Year plaque will be housed at Johnson Danielson Funeral Home for people to see as they come into WKVI and Johnson Danielson. That's just really cool. The work that you've put into it to make it look snazzy, very professional and fancy. How did you get into this line of work?
Oh, that's a long story. Boy, my dad started the business with my dad and my brother wanted to make buckboard benches. A buckboard bench is the bench that sits on an old Western wagon where the springs on it bounces, and they got a contract with John Deere and sold 1,000 of these buckboard benches painted green with the John Deere logo on it. And that got us started. But we've evolved through the years and got into park benches with recycled plastic lumber, and it's a better fit for us now. So the business has evolved. We struggled for a few years, but right now we're keeping our head above water. Business is good, and knock on wood, but we're pretty happy where we're at.
And how can people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of us. They can call us 574-595-0030, or visit one of our 3 websites, but one of them is Memorial Park Bench 1, the number 1.com, memorialparkbench1.com. And it's pretty cool, pretty user-friendly, so check us out.
Yeah, and then another thing I wanted to talk about was you and your family's history with Winamac. I know a lot of the teams, of course, WKVI covers 8 schools on this side of the area of the state, and then Max covers another 8 on the other, in Marshall County in that area. And a lot of those teams travel to Winamac, and they may play on that football field, Roudebush Field. That ring a bell for you? What talk about the connection there, and what your family's history is with Winamac?
Well, it all stems from my grandfather, Earl D. Roudebush. And Earl D. Roudebush was at IU in 1910, and he started the very first high school basketball tournament. And that's really why he is in the Hall of Fame, not necessarily for taking Winamac to the state championship game in 1932. And also that he taught Johnny Wooden. You know what I mean? He taught a great basketball figure in the 8th grade. So I think that's pretty cool too, but that's my thing, not necessarily that he started the first ever basketball tournament. But I would do a shout out. I gotta say that I'm a Boilermaker at heart, but my entire family went to IU, and so my grandfather went to IU, my dad went to IU, met his first wife at IU, and then I got to say that my son, Jackson, just graduated from IU last week, so we're really proud of all that. I'll put the Boilermaker thing aside for a little while here, but I'm sure we'll battle over the years on that. But my grandfather, was the backbone of why, sports is important to us in Winamac, and, we're very proud that the football field is named after him.
One thing I think is really cool is you just kind of mentioned it, is the connection with John Wooden. And a lot of people, of course, the younger generation, I'd like to think they've heard of John Wooden, but I know my generation, of course, I'm only in my early 30s. I always heard of John Wooden. My grandfather, who grew up in West Lafayette area, always talked about John Wooden. He said he'd sneak in. He said he knew the janitor. He'd let him sneak in. It was standing room only to watch John Wooden play basketball there at Purdue. Talk about the connection with John Wooden, just for the history's sake. I think that's so cool.
Well, John Wooden went to high school at Martinsville, and he ended up going to the state championship game 3 times in the late 20s when, even before Hoosiers was made and Indiana basketball was at the peak of its, popularity. So, but my grandfather went to Martinsville and got a job, and he was the assistant basketball coach, and he coached Johnny Wooden in the 8th grade. And I've looked it all up, and then I even got a hold of Johnny Wooden. This gives me my age a little bit. So this has been 30 years ago that I got a hold of John Wooden, and he sent me documents, sent me a couple letters and his pyramid of success. And, I remember your grandfather well and in school, and I think that's pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, and he went on to be arguably, if not the greatest college basketball coach of all time with all those championships with UCLA. I just think that's a really cool connection that you and your family have with John Wooden. But overall, you've coached a lot of sports at Winamac. Talk about the coaching stints and all that you've done for local high school sports, especially at Winamac.
Well, thanks. I coached golf for 15 years, and that's my love. We did, won 3 sectionals and like 15 conference championships between the 2 girls sports and boys golf. And then I was that utility guy. So I coached 8th grade basketball, 6th grade girls, in basketball. So I had a lot of jobs like that, but I enjoyed that a lot. That was really, really fun. We did a lot more things than that. I was the announcer, the PA announcer for basketball for 10 or 12 years, and did the chain gang. We did a little bit of everything, So now we're just kind of working. My son's getting ready to take over here at our factory, and I'm enjoying playing a lot of golf.
KVB took a big hit a couple of years ago when we lost Tony Ross. I know you said you never personally got to meet him, but I'm sure you heard his voice over the years. And I know from talking with him before he passed, he had come to Winamac to do ball games in the past. But I do know you did know Tyler Roth, which is who WKVI's Athlete of the Week and Athlete of the Year is named after. If you could rack your memory of anything that reminds you of Tyler Roth that comes to mind.
Well, we owned Moss Creek Golf Course for 30 years. And back when Tyler was in high school, he would come out and play a lot of golf. He wasn't on the golf team, but he would come out and play a lot of golf, and I'd get to talk to him one-on-one quite often. And you don't think much about it as a high school kid just coming out to play, and how important that time really was, that you got the opportunity to talk to him, and didn't think this tragedy was going to, really happen, and you can't foresee the future, but boy, you just need to take every minute and enjoy every conversation you have with people, and think maybe this is the last time that I might ever talk with them.
Well, Scott, I sure do appreciate all the work you do here at the Roudebush Company. It means a lot, and the relationship that we've gotten over the last few years has been great. I know we don't talk very often, but it's always around April or May when we're planning this stuff and putting together our Athlete of the Year. It's a fun project to work on with you, and I appreciate the conversations we've had and everything I've learned. Your history at Winamac, it's just been an honor to get to know you, Scott. So thank you so much for the work. These plaques just look first class, just beautiful. So I thank you so much for your hard work and effort, and we hope to continue this wonderful tradition.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Mitch.
I sure do thank Scott for his time. As we're going to take a break and come back, we'll be announcing our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year after this.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbe and Chris McGowen on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
It is time now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year. It's given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winamac High School who died as a result of an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award given every year to outstanding student athletes from the 8 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winamac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year for the 2025-2026 school year is Myles McLaughlin from Knox Community High School. Myles was our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for the week of August 24th, 2025. That was fresh off the Redskins' dominating win in Week 1 over their heated rival of North Judson Santerre. 38-6 was the final. Myles was our very first Athlete of the Week for the 2025-2026 school year. That made him a 4-time winner of this prestigious award, which Harold Welter has told me historically is very, very rare. Myles was primarily a 3-sport athlete, but his junior year, he was a 4-sport athlete, competing throughout his high school career in football, basketball, track, and baseball. He achieved 13 varsity letters during his high school career. Part of his leadership and activities during his high school career, he was part of the student council. He was the student body treasurer. He also was a 10-year 4-H member, showing pigs and goats. He was a SAD club member, Students Against Destructive Decisions. His academic accomplishments include an academic K winner and was on the honor roll 7 out of the 8 semesters. Before we get to his basketball accomplishments here, Chris, this is what's interesting. Before we get to his football accomplishments, on the basketball court, he's a 3-time basketball team MVP, a 3-time all-conference basketball player, and a 1,000-point scorer on the basketball court. So when you think about Myles McLaughlin, football, he's a 1,000-point scorer on the hardwood.
Yeah, you think about all the points that he scored total in his career at Knox High School in both basketball and football. It's a lot of points.
We'll go down the list of all his accomplishments in football, so stick with us here. He was Indiana's Mr. Football in 2025. He was a Mr. Football finalist, Gatorade Player of the Year in 2025, Max Preps Player of the Year in 2025. He was Indiana Football Digest's Primetime Top 25. He made the cover of the Indiana Football Digest that comes out each year, and you see him right on the front cover. He was Indiana Football Coaches Association Top 50 All-State, 2-time Indiana Northern State Conference MVP, 6-time Gritty Award winner, 2-time team captain, 2-time Indiana Football Coaches Association Junior 3A All-State, 4-time First Team All-Conference, 3 conference titles, 4 sectional titles. He won a sectional each year throughout his high school career. That's very impressive.
That's impressive as well, yeah.
2
hardest trophy to win.
It really is. 2 regional titles. His Knox records include this. Stick with us here. In a single game, these are the single game records at Knox he set. Points scored in a single game, 62. 9 total touchdowns in a single game. 54 rushing attempts in a single game. 469 rushing yards in a single game. 9 rushing touchdowns in a single game. And his longest run was 97 yards. That game in Bremen. Remember that week 7 battle against Bremen? 97-yarder. That was a single season game record. He set the career records at Knox with total points scored at 1,218 points in his career, Chris.
And add that to the over 1,000 he scored in basketball. Again, that's a lot of total points, but we're talking football here. That's just 1,200. That's amazing.
His career total touchdowns at Knox total 177 total touchdowns, 174 total rushing touchdowns in his career, 78 2-point conversions in his career.
Well, you can thank Coach Russ Radtke for that. Never kicking.
He's still looking for a kicker.
Yeah.
His rushing yards in his career totaled 11,839. That's number one in the state of Indiana now and third in the nation behind Derrick Henry and Kelvin Taylor, who both made it to the National Football League. That is an amazing stat.
That is an amazing stat. So let's see if the number 3 can make that. We'll have to see what the future holds.
1,213 career rushing attempts. That's the record at Knox. Also, something I wanted to bring up, we talked with Coach Radtke. He averaged over 10 yards per carry throughout his career.
That's a first down. That's more than a first down on every time he touched the ball, every time he carried it.
Isn't that an amazing stat for his career?
That is an amazing stat.
Over 10 yards per carry. His season records at Knox: totaled points scored in a season, 500. Total touchdowns and rushing touchdowns, 71. 2-point conversions in a single season, 37. His rushing yards in a single season, 4,893. His total rushing attempts in a season, 486. And his most interceptions in a single season with 7. And that's another thing a lot of people, I think, forget about. Yeah, he did so amazing on offense. He was turned right around there and be on defense, Chris.
Yeah, and how many times he made a big play, big interception in a sectional game or a regional game. But, again, let's go back to the single-season rushing record, 4,800 yards in a single season.
That's incredible.
Most people would love to have that in a career.
Yeah.
He did it in a season.
Literally. It's just it's unbelievable. What I mean, what do you I don't know what to say. Yeah. It's flabbergasting. State records include most points in a game. He had 62 points in a single game against Culver Academies there his senior year. Most rushing attempts in a season. That's a state record, 486. Most rushing yards in a season, that's a state record, 4,846. Most touchdowns in a season, that's a state record, 71. Most points scored in a season, 496 is a state record. He has the highest rushing average in the state, 346.1 yards per game, Chris. If you have 100 per game, that's pretty dang good.
Pretty good.
He had 346.1. In the state record for most rushing yards in a career, 11,839, and most points scored in a career, 1,214. His national records include most rushing yards in a season, 4,846. He's number one in the nation in that spot. Most rushing yards in a season in the nation, 4,846. Most rushing touchdowns in a season, that's a national record at 71, and most points scored total in a career, that's a national record, 496.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
All you can do is it is mind-boggling. Just the amazing effort that it would take to do all of that. I mean, it's just
and he took some big hits. He'd keep getting back up too. It's just really incredible.
Seemed like he got stronger. Like the more people hit on him and beat on him, he just popped back up and just like, okay, let's do it again.
Myles has committed and will be attending Murray State University as a running back to continue his football career. We're all very excited to see him play at the next level. We can't wait to see where he goes. I'm personally proud to call him a friend, and I know he will do amazing things in his life and represent this award the way Harold Welter and Tim Roth intended it to be when they began this 25 years ago. It's the 25th anniversary on June 1st since Tyler's passing. Without further ado, we congratulate our 2025-2026 Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year, Myles McLaughlin. With this award, Myles will be receiving his own personal plaque to commemorate this day. May 30th, 2026. His name, along with school, will be enshrined on the Athlete of the Year Award Winners Board that stays here in the WKVI lobby for every visitor to see. He will also be receiving a scholarship that is given by the family of Tyler Roth, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac, and also WKVI. Without further ado, we talk with our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year, Myles McLaughlin. He's here live and in the lobby. Myles, happy birthday. We're glad you could be here. Congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's talk about the most important thing. Leave it to me to lighten the mood a little bit. So what do you want for your birthday?
You know, just a good day.
Just a good day?
Yeah.
I love it. So it's got to be pretty humbling sitting there, you know, as Mitch is reading all those records. Talk about, have you had a chance to really sit back and really think about what you have accomplished? And if you have, what's it mean to you?
I mean, yeah, I've kind of, now that it's been a few months since we played football, and I've kind of sat down and realized what we did as a team, what we did for the community, and then myself. I mean, it just doesn't feel real. Like, the numbers just don't feel right, to be honest with you.
And then you turn around and you get done with football, and then you jump right into basketball. You have 5 practices, and then you go and you play North Judson. Let me ask you this: going into the basketball season, was scoring 1,000 points, was that a goal going into this season for basketball after what you had just gone through with the football season, or were you just kind of like, if it happens, it happens, oh well? Yeah, that's kind of how it was. Like, to be honest with you, I didn't know if I was actually going to get it or not, and it took me to the last game of my career to get it. But I went in with a positive attitude, and I tried my best, and I got it. So it was a good thing to get.
Talk about your career as a whole. I mean, you go back to freshman year. Chris and I were there for your first game at Winamac, and at the time we didn't really know what you would become. We'd heard the stories behind the scenes that there was this up and coming football player, the son of Josh McLaughlin, your dad, who set the career rushing record when he was in high school for Knox. But that's all we knew at that time. And really, we were talking with Coach Radtke the other day. You really weren't the main guy at that point in time. You had Jake Conroy a year ahead of you, and he was kind of the main tool, if you want to say, running the football. But we remember that Winamac game. He had his first touchdown here on WKVI. That's something special that I'll always remember, and I know that you'll always remember too. A story about him, I remember it was like a few weeks into the season, and he messaged me through social media. Of course, I started Instagram and Twitter for WKVI Sports, but he messaged my Instagram. It was like a Saturday night late, and he said, "Hey man, is there any way I can get the copy of last night's broadcast?" And I thought, wow, this kid's taking it seriously. He wants to hear what we said. He wants to hear the broadcast. I thought that was pretty cool, and I've always remembered that. No other athletes ever asked for a copy of the broadcast. But I mean, you think back to all your years, starting in freshman year. I mean, you must have had something in mind you wanted to accomplish. Did you think you would make it happen quite like this?
I always I grew up hearing about my dad and my dad's stories and everything. So my main goal in high school was honestly just to bring the school a state championship, which didn't happen, but also break my dad's record, and that was the main goal.
Let's talk about that real quick, about the relationship with you and your dad, going through this and everything that you've accomplished. What has he said? What has been his words of motivation to help you get through this?
That he would do the same thing if he got the ball as much as me.
That sounds like something he'd say. He really
jokes.
And then right. I know that your younger brother, he's got his sights set on beating some of your records too. Talk about the competition at home, and that kind of atmosphere must really be interesting.
Oh yeah, he says he's gonna break it, and I hope he does get the chance to break him. I mean, last night we got home from the baseball game. We're sitting there, and he's throwing a baseball with Lincoln Waters. He's like a little brother to me too. He goes, "I'll strike you out right now." I was like, all right, before we leave, we're going to the baseball field, and I'm going to see this. But yeah, it was
Did he strike you out?
No, we didn't do it last night, but he won't strike me out. No way.
You'd never admit it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe when he gets older, you never know.
You never know, I guess. Yeah.
You might be out of your prime, Maybe if he approaches you when you're like 49, 50 years old, he might be able to get you then.
I'm 49, 50 years old. I'm still in my prime. Come on.
Well, what'd Danny do to you?
Well, when Danny was in like 5th grade, he torture racked me. So,
well, Myles, let's talk about this award. I know coming from this area, you grew up, and I know your dad listened to the broadcast a lot growing up, so I'm sure that had an impression on you. But talk about maybe what you've learned over the last few years about this award and what it means to this area. We don't just cover one school, we cover multiple schools, and I'm sure it must mean something special to you.
Yeah, first off, I would like to thank the Roth family for doing this and doing it for all the athletes. It's something really special, and I know I'm really appreciative of it. And I've learned all about this award over the last 4 years, and hearing the great athletes winning it every single year. And I knew I would like to be a part of it, so I'm very blessed that I got to be a part of it.
Let's talk about basketball real quick. 1,000-point score on the basketball court. That's pretty impressive. Like I said the other day, I played, that was my main sport. That's all I played, and I never came close to 1,000 points. To be able to score 1,000 points, and that's kind of your second, would you count it your secondary sport, or how would you kind of categorize basketball? See, this is what I'm so jealous of, is like, I just showed up, bad
scores 1,000 points.
Played basketball, and I'm focusing on it all year long,
I feel like I like baseball better than basketball, but
really?
Yeah, I haven't really played baseball that long. I started in 8th grade. That's when I started playing baseball, and I picked it up, and I really do like playing baseball, so I'm going to miss it.
That is crazy. And you had several coaches over the years in all the sports that you played. Talk about some of the coaches and the coaching staff, maybe some assistant coaches that you'll always remember.
Yeah, in football, obviously we got Russ, Julio, and Bo, Tyler, all those guys. I really appreciate everything and they've done for myself and for the football team. They put a lot on the line. And then basketball, we've got I've had Coach Joe Eskridge. He was great. I wish I had him for 4 years, but then I got blessed with Coach Breeden, and I wish he would have got a chance to stay here a little bit longer. You saw that he went to Plymouth. I wish he would have got to stay here a little bit longer. He was a great coach. And then baseball, Dustin Waters and Bobby Howard. I've had Ryan Marsh. Middle school football, I had my dad, Dave Short. Some younger guys, Dawson Patrick, he was there helping. I've had a lot of great coaches that have helped me out over the last couple of years.
That is incredible.
It is incredible. So here's the one thing I want to ask you right now. What's the best advice you could give anybody, any young kid that's listening right now, and really don't know you? I think most people do know you, but what's the best piece of advice you could give to any young athlete or student athlete right now?
You just got to take in adversity and listen to coaches. I know a lot of people nowadays don't like to get yelled at and stuff. If you're playing for Coach Russ, you're going to get yelled at, and you have to learn how to deal with it. He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it in any bad way. He just wants you to be the best person you can be. So you just have to take in adversity and take the yelling also.
Well, it's one of those things, and that's what I used to tell, because I'm the same way. And I used to tell my athletes, look, you don't listen to how I'm saying it. Listen to what I'm saying. And once you learn that as a student athlete, it doesn't matter what. You just listen to what's being said, not how it's being said, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
What's a memory over the 4 years? Maybe share several memories that you have over the years of playing football, basketball, or any sport. Maybe a game or a situation that you'll always remember.
The first one that I always think of when someone asks me about football is winning the school's first regional championship at West Lafayette. The year before they came to our place and they put a beating on us for sure. And the next year, we went back in the locker room that night and said, next year we're going back to West Lafayette and we're going to beat them. And that's what we did. We went back and all year we worked for them and we got them. So that was a good one.
I think that was the game you carried the ball 54 times.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ride this horse.
Literally. Yeah. And talk about that. When you're getting the ball over and over again. I'm sure you didn't mind it, but at the same time you're like, man, this is I'm getting roughed up here.
Yeah. Sometimes it was a little rough. Some games I got beat up a little more than others. But I appreciate all the touches I received in my career. It was fun.
Well, and thinking back to your sophomore year, you made it to semi-state there, Bishop Chatard, and that's an interesting game. You go, Coach Radtke calls it University Chatard, and then you look over on the other side of the field. They had guys lined from the 10 on one end to the 10 on the other end of the field. They just had so many guys, and they'd swap out the defensive linemen every couple of plays. It was fresh legs you had to face. But there were a couple big-time plays where you were able to break away and really show what you were able to do even as a sophomore. Talk about that sophomore year, making it to semi-state, and you really got the taste in your mouth with the other guys, I'm sure, like, hey, we can get here. We can make things happen. Because that sophomore year, that was a big, big year for Redskin football.
Yeah, that was a special year. All my best friends were on that team. Most of them were seniors, and then obviously Jake he's a junior that year. All my best friends, they were actually all at my house last night. We were hanging out a little bit, but going down to Chatard, getting beat like that, it was not fun. That's for sure. I'll say it that way. I felt like we could have got some more stuff going than we did. We kind of feel like we just weren't ever in an environment like that. So it was good to get into an environment like that for the following years, and I felt like that set the foundation for the program for forever.
And we've talked with Coach Radtke before, that junior year, I know it didn't end the way you guys wanted it to. You guys had so close there to get back to semi-state there. It was against Garrett, wasn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, talk about junior year and the adversity you faced to come back for your senior year.
Yeah, that last game you were talking about, Garrett, that one was not fun. That was definitely our game. I think we were up by a touchdown or two with 5 minutes to go, and they scored 2 straight, and they had got an onside kick on us, and we lost the game by 1 point, I think 41-40. But overall, the junior year was a learning year for sure. I mean, we're rebuilding after we lost a bunch of linemen. The year before, we lost some giant linemen, Bigfoot. We call him Bigfoot. Isaiah Jones. He's a real big lineman.
Yeah.
Like I said, Rowan on the secondary, Rowan, Jaden. So we were trying to learn. I think it made us grow for my senior year. We had a lot of underclassmen playing some positions, and some kids that are still playing this next coming year. So they've got some people coming back this year, and it'll be a good year for them.
Talk about senior year. You get all the way to semi-state. You take on Bishop Luers. Man, that was a tough one. And it honestly may have been the toughest game I'd ever seen you play in. All the success we'd seen, and you faced a lot of adversity in that game. Probably one of the tougher situations I'd like to say maybe you'd ever been in your high school career, and it happened to be your last game.
Yeah, for sure. That last game was terrible. I'm just being honest with you guys.
Well,
it was not good. I just feel like we had a lot of things that went the opposite way that we needed to go, and I feel like if we play that game a few more times, I think we can come out one of those times. To be honest with you, I just feel like we were a good team, good enough to win, but it just wasn't our night. But overall, senior year was great. I mean, I had some of the best times of my life so far. Made a lot of memories that'll last forever, so I really appreciate the team and the community for all the memories and stuff.
Talk about some of the players over the years. You mentioned Isaiah Jones. Talk about some other guys you'll always remember maybe in your younger years, and also the senior class. I know you were good friends with Kane Weber, Jake Conroy, who graduated last year. Talk about some of these relationships you'll probably have for the rest of your life.
Yeah, so obviously the O-line, my 4 years of high school was great. You have Lane Howard in there. He was one of the best linemen I've ever played with, to be honest with you. He was really good. He's a good guard. I played with Brandon Manuel, Isaiah Jones, Tucker Burns, Keeson Dixon. I'm going to forget some people. Caleb Schwann, Easton Minix. Everybody that blocked for me was awesome, incredible people. I look forward to talking to these guys in the future. Obviously this year, Kane Weber is one of my best friends. Then Jake Conroy, one of my best friends. Just everybody I play with, I really appreciate them. I'm forgetting people,
sure,
but I appreciate all of them.
Absolutely. Well, okay, future Murray State. What was behind the decision, and what are you looking forward to hopefully do?
When I went there on my official visit after football was over, it was like the place that felt like home. I went there and they treated me real nice, and it feels like home there. Just the town in general, it's a smaller town. It's kind of, I wouldn't say like small town. It's about the size of Plymouth. It just feels like where I need to be. Everyone there is real nice, and I like the small town vibe.
What's your? Do you know your major? What are you gonna major in?
I'm not for sure yet. Yeah, I'm still undecided.
It's all right, because a lot of people go to college thinking they're going to do one thing, and it turns out being something totally different at the end of year one.
That's what I've heard.
And you get those what are those called? Those entry level class, like math and science and all that out of the way early. And by the time
your gen ed courses,
by the time you're a sophomore, junior, you can figure that out then, and it'll be interesting. The relationships you've met over the years. When we saw the outpour on social media, everyone was supportive of you here in Knox and in the greater area as well. A lot of support. And you heard from Derrick Henry. He had reached out to you, and I know we talked. Peyton Manning had sent something signed, and that's pretty cool when you're garnering notice from some of these future Hall of Famers, and Peyton Manning, a current Hall of Famer in the NFL. Talk about hearing from the local community as well as, national. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience. I mean, I'm glad it happened to me. It's a good experience for the future. But all the guys that reached out, I really appreciate it. I mean, I looked up. I've grown up watching these guys play. So it's real cool to hear from them.
Absolutely. So what's the message to Redskin Nation and everyone else as you move on to college? I know you've got to report to Murray State within the next week or so, right?
Yeah, next Sunday.
So what is the message you want to leave behind to let everyone know how much you appreciate them or whatever you want them to know for the future for Myles McLaughlin?
Yeah, I really appreciate everything the school and the administration and the community has done for myself and for the entire Knox athletic community and even the community in general. I mean, they've been great to me and my team, and just keep supporting the Redskins. We'll win some games.
We went down the list of all those accomplishments, Myles. Is there one that you're most proud of?
I'm proud of all of them.
Proud of all of them?
Yeah, there's not one that sticks out. No. To be honest with you, some of the defensive ones are probably...
Really?
Yeah, probably some of my favorite ones. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. I thought maybe he was going to just one more dig at Dad, maybe a little bit. When I broke Dad's rushing record.
My sophomore year.
Yeah, sophomore year, yeah. It only took me 2 years. It took you 4.
We'll have a chance to talk to Tim Roth here momentarily, and Tim's here. Do you have any questions for Myles while we're on the air here, Tim? Do you have anything?
Not that I can ask on the air.
Not that you can ask on the air. Any final questions for Myles here?
No, just congratulations. It's been an honor to be able to call your games the last 4 years, and I wish you the best down at Murray State. And I don't know, I may have to take a road trip and come watch you play.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm gonna miss you, bro. I'm gonna miss you.
I'll miss you guys too. It's been fun.
Yeah, I've got to know you the last few years, and I appreciate you reaching out to me wanting those broadcasts all those years ago. I always remember you, man, because that was my first year broadcasting here, so I considered myself a freshman. You were a freshman, so I'll keep in contact with you. I know, but it's been great to get to know you and the family. A great family, and it's just been an honor to get to know you, man. I appreciate you over the years, and I congratulate you on this award. You're more than deserving of this award, and I know Tim and Melinda, as well as Harold Welter, would agree that Myles McLaughlin is an Athlete of the Year. So thank you so much and getting to know you, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to WKVI for everything you guys have done, and let's just keep it going.
All right, I will, just because you said so. That's our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year for the 2025-2026 season. Knox Community High School senior Myles McLaughlin. His name will be enshrined on the WKVI Tyler Roth Athlete of the Year Award Winners Board that will be here in the WKVI lobby. If you're ever in the lobby, make sure to swing over and look at all the list of the amazing winners over the years. We had our Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 Athlete of the Year Award winner announced on Max earlier. Ileana Grubbs from Bremen, now here on WKVI. It is Myles McLaughlin. We're taking a break. Coming back, we'll talk with Tim Roth, the father of Tyler Roth, the individual that this award is named after. We'll play some highlights over the 4 years from Myles here momentarily, so don't go anywhere. The Saturday Sports Line continues. We're going into overtime. Typical Mitch. Don't go anywhere.
Ain't lost, just wondering. From my hometown.
A lot of men up front. McLaughlin alone in the backfield takes the snap. Up the left side, round the edge to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Still on his feet, breaks away, and it will be flags on the play. This may be it, folks. This may be the one. And it will. He will break the all-time rushing record in the state of Indiana here on October 31st, 2025. Unbelievable. He surpasses Charlie Spiegel. The flag is on the Panthers. And Myles McLaughlin will eclipse Charlie Spiegel, the 2019 grad of New Pal High School. The all-time rushing leader in the state of Indiana is a Knox Redskin, and his name is Myles McLaughlin, and you heard it here first on WKVI. Congratulations to Myles, and now it's all about the W.
Shows that we ain't gonna stand shit, shows that we
Big time opportunity to put points on the board and strike first here in this semifinal sectional 26 matchup between two unbeatens. From shotgun, it's Myles McLaughlin on the 4-yard line. Takes the snap, high snap. He's going to keep it himself up the middle, trying to get the touchdown, and he does! Touchdown, Myles McLaughlin. The Redskins strike first. So here's the 3-1 from McGowen. Deep hit back to left field. It's over the head of the left fielder. It'll bring both runners home, and Myles is turning for 3. Oh my goodness. He is going to slide in, and it gets past the third baseman. He gets a 2 RBI triple on that play. My goodness, Myles McLaughlin.
He got just about as much of that as he could have, I think.
Big time shot. Back over to McLaughlin. Pops the 3. Splash. Big time shot from Myles McLaughlin as the Redskins tie things up. 26 all here. Braylon Jackson. Jackson skip pass stolen by Myles McLaughlin. 1-on-1. And he will lay it in confidently. 9-4. 5-point lead. The Redskins are looking good here.
Oh, my world.
McLaughlin takes the snap, waiting for the hole to develop, breaks away, now to the far side of the field, to the 25, still on his feet, breaks several tackles all the way to the 15, inside of the 15-yard line. Myles McLaughlin, folks. McLaughlin takes it out of the gun, breaks away to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, 40, 50, 45 to the 40, 35 to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, it's Myles McLaughlin, baby! Touchdown, Redskins! McLaughlin from the gun. Takes the snap, up the left side, crosses over to the 45, still on his feet to the 50, the 45 to the 40, to the 35 to the 30, to the 25 to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Redskins! First play of the game, Myles McLaughlin! As he'll take the snap, fake the handoff, up the middle, across the 50, to the 45 to the 40, to the 35 to the 30, 25 to the 20, he's all alone, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Redskins! Myles McLaughlin, number 9 on the ground this night. It's McLaughlin, out of the gun, takes the snap, up the middle, has space, breaks away. Oh, huge play to the 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Redskins! From shotgun, McLaughlin takes a snap, fakes the handoff, steps back, looks to throw, wide open. It's Kane Weber to the 30, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! And Myles McLaughlin is in the backfield all alone as he's going to take the snap at the 50-yard line and run it right up the gut immediately. He's going to break away. Oh, my goodness. To the 20, the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Myles McLaughlin. And the Knox Redskins score first. A wildcat option there. What a play for Myles McLaughlin. As Cohen Watson from shotgun takes the snap and hands off, that's Myles McLaughlin up the middle, and he breaks away again. He crosses the 50-yard line to the 40, to the 35, 30, and he's tackled. Wow, big time play by the freshman Myles McLaughlin as it took 2 Lakers to bring him down. Ball spotted on the Lakers' 30-yard line. This Knox Redskin offense just doesn't have any quit in them.
Farmers Bank and Trust, agriculture has been a cornerstone of our business for more than 135 years. Our personal relationships within the ag community run deep for multiple generations. If you're looking for a financial partner that knows, understands, and supports agriculture, I'd love to hear from you. I'm Isaac Blue, ag banker at First Farmers. Come into our Knox, North Judson, or Culver branches, or visit us online at ffbt.com when you're ready to talk about growing your operation. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbe and Chris McGowen on the longest running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
There's a trend happening around the educational world. More and more high school graduates are attending smaller community colleges to start their educational journey. At Marian University's Ancilla College, we welcome students from all walks of life. The opportunities at Marian University are endless, from living on campus to being a collegiate student-athlete. From day one, your professors will help you create a plan for a success at Marian and beyond. Find out more about Marian University's Ancilla College through our website at marian.edu/Ancilla today.
Now let's return to more of the Saturday Sports Line with WKVI Sports Director Mitch Columbe.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we just got finished talking with our new Tyler Roth, WKVI Athlete of the Year winner. It's Myles McLaughlin. Great interview there, Chris.
It was a great interview. Just a great young man there who knows what he wants to do and just has the work ethic and just the desire to go achieve it. And it's just amazing.
Turns 19 today.
Right.
That's pretty cool. We got him in here to do the live interview on his birthday. Appreciate his time. Happy birthday to Myles McLaughlin. We now bring in the father of Tyler Roth, Tim Roth, Indiana Football Hall of Famer, Tim Roth. Coach, it's good to have you in here. I know this is a tough interview every time, but maybe even a tougher one because on Monday it'll mark 25 years since the tragic passing of your son. And each year gets harder and harder, I know, for you and Melinda, but we sure do appreciate you coming in and allowing us to continue this tradition in naming this award after him.
Thank you, and we appreciate it very much.
I know you do, and you kind of mentioned how the close. I mean, this is crazy. You said very similar situation between him and Myles.
Mitch, God works in mysterious ways, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Of all the 25 kids, obviously throughout the girls, because Tyler wasn't a female,
right?
But of all the 25 winners, and you heard my wife the other day say, there's been a couple that really remind us of Tyler and this, that, and whatever. This being the 25th year to us is kind of special. But then to have Myles win it and the correlation between he and Tyler is unbelievable. They're both three-sport athletes, both played 4 sports in high school. Tyler ran track his freshman year until Coach Hendricks talked him into coming back out for baseball. And at that time, you couldn't do
2 sports.
Otherwise, he'd have probably done them both. But they're both 3-sport athletes. They're both involved in student government. Tyler was the student body president. Myles is a student body treasurer. They're both involved in 4-H very heavily, 10-year members. We learned the other day that they both share the same religious faith, being Catholic. And I had the opportunity to talk to Myles just a second ago. You asked if there was a question I wanted to ask him on the air, and I said, no, not on the air. And I says, is there a girlfriend? Because I always worry about, kids going to college and being homesick for mom and dad, homesick for a girlfriend, homesick for just being at home. And sometimes that's hard to do, but if you got support from both family and somebody that you really have feelings for, it makes it a little easier at times, yeah. And my wife and I talked the other day about the comparisons between the two young men that are so, and then body types.
I was going to say body type.
Myles is not the biggest kid in the world, height-wise, but he's built like a bull, and Tyler didn't have an ounce of fat on him. He was, I like to brag and say he was ripped, but it's amazing. Both blondes, and it's crazy.
Well, here's what I want to ask you. I want you to put on your football coaching hat just for a second.
I got my shirt on.
Got your shirt on. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, what could you have done? What would you just to have an athlete like that as a football coach?
He's thinking right now.
Yeah, I know. As a football coach, I mean, yeah.
I'd have been wearing a blue ring instead of my Hall of Fame ring if I'd had Myles McLaughlin in the backfield, I guarantee you. So how do you explain the career he's had other than, Harold would call it unbelievable. My favorite term is awesome. But, there's not enough words to describe the accomplishment that kid has had in 18 years, now 19 today.
Right.
And But I'll tell you, you can talk about all the records and all the accomplishments and all that stuff, and some people go, well, he only played at Knox or 3A school. It'd be different if he was at 6A or 5A. No, it wouldn't be any different. But the one thing that sticks out to me after having met the kid now 3 times, his humble attitude.
Exactly.
He is, and again, that was a parallel with Tyler. He's as humble a kid, especially in today's world where it's all about me, that I've met in a long time. So that's what I like about Myles McLaughlin the best.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really easy to be a braggart. To
with
pound
his
your
accomplishments.
chest. Yeah. But he'll be the first one to thank everybody else that was around him that made it possible.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've heard him say compliments to his linemen. He couldn't do it without his linemen. The guys up front are what gives me the chance to showcase my abilities. Those kind of kids don't come around that often anymore.
No.
So let's talk about Tyler, and I know it's tough each year, but he was. We talked about it. He's so well liked in school and was off to Earlham College. I can only imagine that phone call had to have been like, "Hey, he's not coming." And I mean, we haven't really talked about that before in all the interviews. I know we've talked about some intimate moments here on the air the last couple of years. You'd mentioned a couple years ago. I asked some questions that had never been asked, but to share the story about Tyler, I mean, so much going for him and looking forward to seeing him play at the next level. I mean, that just had to have been the worst. I mean, it's probably it is the worst moment of your life.
Yeah, definitely. It's. I remember making the phone call. His position coach at Earlham College was Tom Terkovitz, who was born and raised in Logansport, Indiana.
Okay.
And I called him and I said, it's not going to happen. I made the call from the hospital in Fort Wayne, and I said, right away. And I said, it's we don't know what's going to happen, and it's just one of those things that I felt like I had to do. And then the day of Tyler's viewing, an Earlham College car pulls up in front of Frame Mortuary, and the line for Tyler's viewing was like 3 hours long, and people were standing outside talking and doing whatever. That car pulled up, and one of Melinda's best friends at her work at the time was in line there, and she goes, the place just went silent. And Tom walked in with of course, a 34 jersey, and then we ended up draping that on his casket. And it's just, things like that you remember. I got to tell this story, too, about that time. Melinda and I and the kids, Sarah, Ashley, and Parker, were all, at the casket for the viewing and whatever. And in walks a gentleman, we saw him stand in line. He's got on I call it a Hollywood shirt, kind of Hawaiian, whatever, pair of shorts and sandals. And he comes up, his turn, he comes up, grabs Melinda's hand with both his hands, and he goes, I'm here to tell you it will be all right. Life will go on, but it will be all right. And Melinda goes, do I know you? He goes, that's not important. Now, here's the spooky part of that. Nobody in that funeral home saw that person other than Melinda and I. The kids didn't see him. Melinda's dad was sitting right in the front seat.
With a shirt on like that, you'd think.
He didn't see him. No one in that funeral home saw that individual. And to this day, it sends shivers down my spine. But it was just one of those things where and his voice was so calm and comforting. It's like, what is going on here? And we've asked hundreds of people.
No one knows who he was.
Nobody knew
and you
who
still
he was.
To this day don't.
Nobody saw him. Frames, nothing. And it's like, oh my.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah. We haven't shared that story with
What did that individual say?
He just came in and grabbed Melinda with both hands, and he goes, it will be okay. everything will be all right. And he said it in such a way that it was just
like he knew.
Yeah, and it was just a calming effect over both of us at the time. And he kept a hold of Melinda's hand with both hands. And, we still marvel at that. And, people will ask us to tell that story over and over again. And they, a lot of them can't believe it. But like I said, the good Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. Wow.
So...
that's all I can say to that is wow. I don't know.
It's a new part of the story we haven't heard.
Yeah.
Well, not too many people have heard that part other than
till today.
Us asking if did you see that individual? No. So that and the other thing I'd like to share, and I'm not looking for pity of any kind or whatever, because I think Melinda and I, the kids have had a harder time dealing with the loss of their brother, I think, than Melinda and I. Melinda and I went to Compassionate Friends for a lot of years. That really helped. They don't really have anything for siblings who've lost a child member. And when I'd go to Compassionate Friends, I'd struggle with, can't we get our kids some help? What do we do with our kids? But it's just, I don't know. I worry about them all the time. And even 25 years later, especially our son Parker, because he looked up to his big brother, even though he's grown up to be bigger than Tyler ever was. But it's, life goes on. So you have to go on and you got to make the most of it. And I try not to dwell on the negative and try and, feed off the positive. And this award has certainly done that for us. It's a lot of people that knew Tyler, loved Tyler. There were a few naysayers that thought he was a spoiled brat because he's the coach's kid. But I don't need those people in my life anyway.
Right, exactly.
And so we just try and live our lives, I'll use Tyler's quote, I try and live my life to the best of my ability, no matter what.
Exactly. And I know that, week in, week out, every Saturday, you listen.
Oh, yeah.
To see who was going to be named Athlete of the Week.
Yep.
And then, 25 years now, Athlete of the Year. Let's talk about some of the athletes that are on that plaque. What do you remember? Mitch asked me the question earlier, so now let's turn it on you.
And when I was naming the list the other day, I noticed you remember a lot of them over the years, and even when I went down the list of how many each school has, you knew how many each school has.
We kind of keep track of it, yeah, in the back of our minds at least. Well, the first one obviously sticks out the most, right. Danny. Played against Tyler.
Right.
I think they probably met each other in the hole more than once. And a lot of fond memories of him play. He played against Parker as well. One that sticks out that a lot of people probably won't remember is Joe Curtis from John Glenn. When you covered John Glenn, we walked in and he and his parents were here, and Joe had the beach bottle blonde hair just like Tyler did, and it was like, thought we're seeing a ghost or something. The girl from, and my mind just went blank, the girl from OD that...
Sarah Conkey
that won it twice. Yep. Coming back the second year, it's like, here we go again. And of course, the other kids that have won it that I've known, the Harvey kid from Culver, Jeremiah, he was a state wrestler, but he was also a great football player.
Yes, he was.
And then the kids from Winamac. Wendy Fritz was, I think, the first Winamac winner in 2004, and she was in Parker's class. They chived back and forth together, And then Dalton Button, one of my favorites, but probably the all-time favorite from Winamac that won it was Jack DeGroot, our quarterback. He also won the Joe Tiller Scholar Athlete of the Year from the National Football Foundation. Just a great kid, and has gone on to become a doctor of physical therapy. So, but there's, the kids, all of them that have won it have just been fantastic individuals. Some are a little... Well, let me rephrase that. Some are more humble than others, and that's the quality that Melinda and I appreciate the most is the kids that are humble about it and give credit where credit is due rather than to just themselves. And so it's an honor. It's been fun, but Mitch, you're right. It's very emotional every year, especially this time of year. Tomorrow will mark the 25th year of his actual wreck. And unfortunately, it's our son-in-law Shane's birthday.
Oh.
His wreck happened on Shane's birthday. He died the next day after 34 hours in the hospital.
Number 34.
Yeah, the surgeons told us that, you need to get family here. So we hustled the girls from Lafayette and Terre Haute. Ashley was in school down there in the summer. And he goes, if he makes it, if we can get him through the first 48 hours, he's got a really good chance of making it. And come the 34th hour, I said, Melinda, something's going to happen. I don't know if it's good or bad, but something will happen in the 34th hour. And
you just had the feeling.
I just had that feeling, yeah. And his brain waves stopped, and in the 34th hour, he was pronounced dead. So didn't make it that 48 hours, but Tyler did more in his 19 years than a lot of people do in their lifetime, though, and that's what we're proudest of.
Yeah. Every time I come to Winnemac, when I'm coming from Plymouth where I live, I go down through Culver and then take 14 into Winnemac, and every time I go by that telephone pole, I see the cross with the,
his name in 34.
That's tough for even me to see because I've gotten to know you over the years, and it's just every time I go down that road, I think of him. Every time I come through Winnemac and I see that, and that's the spot.
Yeah.
And that's just something that, it'll always be ingrained in your memory.
Well, and it's, things like that just aren't supposed to happen. Your children aren't supposed to die before you do. And our situation is no different than any other parent who's lost a child, whether it be accident or illness or, a devastating disease like a cancer victim or whatever. It's the heartache and the pain is there every day. It's just you have to learn how to manage it and move forward with your life. And I think if you ask the parents that are trying to manage it and handle it, they would tell you, at least I'm going to tell you, Tyler wouldn't want us sitting around sulking and brooding over his situation. He would be the first one to say, Dad, suck it up, get on with your life and do something maybe not important, but something positive in your life. And I've tried to instill that in our kids. I've tried to instill that in our players when I was coaching. And, like I said, life goes on, so you just have to deal with it.
The one thing I want to talk about, Harold Welter, who you guys started this together because you both have experienced tremendous tragedies.
Yep.
And, in the book that Harold wrote, Joy in the Morning, and your input into that and the story. Talk about writing that part of the book for Harold.
Well, Harold interviewed me twice and wanted to know, some deep feelings there. And I said, Harold, you don't need my deep feelings because you know what they are. Right. Exactly. And never did I think that when I was standing in the viewing line, I came up with Gary Nellens, our principal at the time, and a couple other guys to Cheryl's viewing. And by the time we got up to the casket to speak to Harold, I couldn't talk. I just said, I don't know what to say, so I'll say I'm sorry. And never did I thought 6 months later we'd be doing the same thing. But, we left the Fort Wayne Hospital at 12:34 that night, or morning, I guess you'd call it. At 8 o'clock the next morning, who's at my back door? Harold and his family. And it's like, oh, man, don't do this because you're suffering enough. You don't need to share my pain. But it was just him.
Because they understood.
They understood, and they wanted to show their support of, hey, you can get through this, and life will go on. And Harold's done a fantastic job with, remaining positive and trying to find positives in life. And it's, I've seen it both directions. I've seen an individual lose a son and end up divorced, end up an alcoholic, and die. And I choose not to do that, or we choose not to do that. And because you can't tell me that individual would want you to act that way.
Exactly.
And Harold's a shining example of the way you should handle grief and move forward with your life. And I hope I can exemplify that as well.
Well, and Mitch has been doing this now. You're going to be starting year 5 next year, but this is you're finishing up year 4, and I've been here for almost a decade now, if not more.
Getting to be an old man, Chris.
I know. So, but the relationships that you build when cause I've been in that seat as a coach, and I've been doing this now for a long time. The relationships that you build, and it just that relationship that you and Harold built before the tragedies happen. I mean, it just speaks volumes to the character of both you.
Harold would say, we spent more times with each other in the fall of the year than we did with our own wives. And it's like, for 36 years, I came up here every Saturday morning. There was one Saturday I did not show, and I did the interview from the back of a bus on the way to a Purdue-Ohio State football game. And Harold goes, where are you calling me from? I go, I think we're on Interstate 70 headed to Columbus, Ohio, or 74, whatever it was. But otherwise, I think as a coach, when you sign on the dotted line,
this is part of it.
In the schools in our area, when you sign on that dotted line, you're saying, hey, I'll show up and promote my program at WKVI and be here in person, not call in on the phone. Now, I understand there are some circumstances, but to me, be here and show your appreciation to the radio station, but also in supporting your program and the kids. And there were a lot of Saturdays, we went through a stretch there at one time where we weren't very good, and we were like 3-6, 2-7 there, and then we got things rolling again. But those Saturday morning interviews, Chris, weren't very much fun, I'll tell you.
Right, yeah, trying to come up with something positive to say. Yeah, believe me, I know.
And I know your last year was 2016, but talk about continuing to coach through that tragedy. I mean, I'm sure it helped you, but it also was probably pretty tough.
Yeah, very. In fact, there was about almost a month there where I wanted to quit. And I think it got out that Coach Roth's going to hang it up. And I had a group of players. I think it was planned. A group of players came over one night, and then a couple of assistant coaches come over, and they go, Coach, whatever it takes, if you need to be away from practice a day, go away. We don't care, but we want you out there. And the one that hit me the hardest was, Tyler wasn't a quitter, so why do you think you can be? And I took that to heart. And
you remember who told you that?
Do I remember who told me that? Yeah, but I don't want to say his name.
Okay.
And I took that to heart, though. And that first year was pretty tough. And I think the kids might have got tired of me referring to Tyler some at some points, but a lot of them, and you never wish this on anybody, but a lot of them didn't know how to experience loss and cope with it. Because some days I was having a good day, some days I was having a bad day, but I had to be at work every day, good or bad. And, they just didn't understand. But we got through it and had a pretty decent year that year. And then after that, it became old hat again, and we kept moving forward. But we did retire the number 34.
Yes.
Nobody gets to wear that anymore.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I wish the school would retire it.
Sure, for all sports.
For all sports, exactly.
Man, Coach, I know it's tough to talk about this, but we sure do appreciate being able to continue this each year and being able to honor your son in this way. And I think Myles McLaughlin is a perfect example of what this award represents. So it means a lot for you, for us, for you to allow this to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, well, it means a lot to us too. That and honestly, I think sometimes the people of Winamac have been around and know the situation and everything. I think sometimes when it's kids that win it from other schools and hear the story, it's almost more refreshing to us as a family to – I know I mentioned I talked to my daughter, and she was excited that she goes, Dad, it's a no-brainer, but from what you've said about the kid – isn't he the best example of what you want this award to mean in terms of what Tyler did? And I go, it's a carbon copy, you know?
Right.
And we can't put into words how much we appreciate WKVI doing this and honoring Ty. He was, I made the comment the other day to Myles' dad. I said, a lot of people think that Tyler had a halo around his head or whatever with all the accolades and all the hype he gets all the time. But I said, he was an ornery little squirt. I said, no, it was a good ornery, but he,
kept you on your toes.
Very much so, Chris. And being the oldest boy, he had his moments. But, we're very proud of him, as we are for all the kids, and we're just happy that other people remember him in the same light that we do.
It's always been great to get. It's just been great to get to know you and Melinda. So I thank you for coming in and talking about it. I know it's tough each year, but thank you so much for being here today live, so Chris could be a part of this interview. It means a lot, Tim.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That is Tim Roth, the father of Tyler Roth, who's this amazing award is named after. We always appreciate Coach Roth. Tough situation, but we've turned it into a positive. And we're so happy that we can continue this amazing award in his honor. Myles McLaughlin is our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year for the 2025-2026 school year. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to talk with Knox Athletic Director Neill Minix and head coach for the Knox Redskins football program, Russ Radtke, as he will talk about Myles. They'll both talk about Myles and everything that he accomplished. I think you knew Russ a little bit, didn't you, Coach?
Russ and I had a couple battles.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a show for another day.
Well, he was wearing maroon the other day.
Well, you noticed my opening comment.
Yeah.
I told him, I don't know if Mitch told you this, Chris, but I said, Russ, I tried for 40 years to get you to wear maroon, and to no avail, I couldn't get it done. And now you walk in and you got on a maroon shirt. I said, you've seen the light.
We'll take a break, come back. We'll hear from those guys. Here's one of Tyler's favorite songs by David Gray, Babylon.
I'm seeing it so clear, I've been afraid to show you how I really feel. Admit to some of those bad mistakes I've made. And if you want it, come and get it, crying out loud. The love that I was giving you was never in doubt. Let go of your heart, let go of your head, and feel it now. Let go of your heart, let go of your head, and feel
Mortuary in Winnemac is family-owned and operated with 3 locations serving Pulaski County and the surrounding communities. Frayne Mortuary has provided our community with caring and compassionate service for loved ones. Our licensed staff is available to assist you with pre-need funeral planning and at-need funeral planning. We provide traditional burial and cremation services. We offer a full line of headstones and monuments at Frayne Mortuary in Winnemac. It's our family serving your family.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbe on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, agriculture has been a cornerstone of our business for more than 135 years. Our personal relationships within the ag community run deep for multiple generations. If you're looking for a financial partner that knows, understands, and supports agriculture, I'd love to hear from you. I'm Isaac Blue, ag banker at First Farmers. Come into our Knox, North Judson, or Culver branches, or visit us online at ffbt.com when you're ready to talk about growing your operation. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
LAP Waste can offer services for trash removal, large or small. Here's Kirby Anderson.
We do offer front load service in 2, 4, 6, and 8 yard dumpsters for front loads, and we also do a lot of roll-off in 12s, 15s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and we even got quite a few packers at job sites that are permanent places to where they need to dispose of a lot of trash.
Here's Honey Lamer.
Just give us a call at 574-542-4019 and we'll get you all set up.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
4th and 6. Here we go for the Redskins. It's Myles McLaughlin from shotgun. Takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw. Here come the Falcons. He's going to have to roll out to his left. Fires deep past the Jake Conroy, and he's wide open. Touchdown, Redskins.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Line as we now transition to talk with Knox Athletic Director Neill Minix and head coach of the Knox football program, Russ Radtke. Of course, we just announced our new Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year, Myles McLaughlin. And we'll start with you first, Neill. The amount of work, time, and effort that you put in behind the scenes as an athletic director. Calls were coming in all over the nation, I know, and you were dealing with a lot this year, but I know you wouldn't have it any other way. Talk about Myles and all the work that went into this year. I mean, he broke a lot of records.
Yeah, he did just a tremendous job. The coaching staff, tremendous job, the way they handled the season. Like you said, it was a little out of the ordinary for everybody, him getting that much attention and well-deserved. But, the phone calls and I don't think I did that many interviews ever in my life. And it's fine. Like you said, I'd do it all over again. When it was over, I was worn out. But like I said, I would do that all again in a heartbeat. It's for the community and the coaches and the players. And, I didn't dread it ever. I mean, even on, I think 3 or 4 Fridays in a row with us being on Central Time, 57 News is coming down doing a weather report, and I had to meet him at 3:30 in the morning and then have cleanup after game that night. But, I was never dreaded it, not once. I was excited to do that because I wanted to promote our program and our kids and Myles. And like I said, and that's all I thought of. If I'm feeling a little worn out or whatever, imagine how they are feeling. Going to practice every day, coach year after year, he's coaching 4 to 5 extra weeks every year. So, but they love it. They do a great job, and our kids respond to it, and just a tremendous year. And like you said, if I had a chance to do it all over again in a heartbeat.
What I think is really cool was his sophomore year. Myles' sophomore year, he broke the school rushing record, which was held by his dad, Josh McLaughlin. And I know you guys have a special relationship. Talk about Myles and the family in general. I know you've got to know them over the years, and you played with Josh, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so when I was left tackle for Josh when he was in high school, and he did come ended with a lot of yards. He was a tremendous running back, hard to tackle, fast, and that's what we told him. He's as good as he wasn't close to Myles. So we like to tell him that it only took his kid 2 years to beat him. But, with the numbers he's putting up, that it was just tremendous of the stats. But, yeah, Josh was a great player back in the day. We had great relationships. We still, we were good friends from playing together. And there's, 4 or 5 other guys that we played with that we talk to, daily, weekly, and all hang hang out, and those are still times. That's what no one realizes, those relationships you make, and we'll still tell our stories about back then, and to Myles, then we can act like we'd have beat him, but that wouldn't happen.
but you knew
but it's
him,
fun.
But you knew Myles as a kid growing up. Talk about Myles and what you saw at a young age.
Yeah, so I actually was a girls basketball coach a lot of his years growing up, and so in the fall we did have workouts, of course, but that's only 2 days a week you were allowed. So we would they talked me into helping coach his Pop Warner team. So I could help coach Pop Warner team with Josh and a couple of more of our friends that we hang out all the time, and we coached them, and they improved so much as the year went, and they're just fun kids to be around. But Myles was playing up at least a year, maybe 2, and to watch some of the moves he would make at 7 and 8 years old, we were like, this kid's going to be something special.
And Coach, you had the pleasure of coaching Myles since he was a freshman, and he got a lot of time early on as a freshman. That was something that stuck out to us during the broadcast, is you trusted in him at an early age. 15 years old, coming in right out of 8th grade, asked to being, from 8th grade, you've talked about it, from going from 8th grade to playing varsity athletes that may be 17, 18 years old. There can be an adjustment period, and you always talk about the maturation process. So talk about Myles coming in as a freshman and being asked to kind of work hard really right from the start.
Well, he wasn't the quarterback. He wasn't the main running back at that time. And when he came in as a freshman, he had to work his way into the backfield with the rest of the group. And sometimes people don't accept that. And there's a challenge within a pecking order of young teenagers. And he was able to stand up for it and realize that he can't be out there on the field all the time. There's other players. But as he progressed onward into his sophomore, junior year, I just talked to Harold about that just the other day, that he had shared the spotlight for 3 years, freshman, sophomore, junior year. You take those yardage that other players like Jake, there's probably 26 to 3,000 more yards there that could have been his if we did the same thing when he was already a freshman. Would it have worked? I don't know. But now we saw that development and how he progressed and where he was going to be, and the things that our athletic director had to do already in the spring of last year. This time last year already, phone calls were coming in to say you're going to get Mr. Football. It didn't come about without having a great secretary too, right,
yes.
Amy?
Yep, she did.
The hours that she has to put in and get the stats and send them to different people, not just you guys in Knox.
Right.
He's sending it all the way to Washington, to Texas, to the East Coast. Virginia newspaper. It's just continuously. And I couldn't be bothered with it, but I had to have another link.
Right.
And so the school corporation providing Neill and Amy and the other people in our booster club and how they all got together. And then the gentleman that does our stats.
Tim Knowlton.
Wow. Does he get paid?
Yeah, he gets paid.
Okay, good.
Probably not worth what he does, but he does get paid.
My gosh, I just can't imagine now you can do all that and then sell the young man to the point where he was able to get, I believe, close to 67 to 68% of the Mr. Football votes.
Yeah.
In a little town like Knox?
That's crazy.
That nobody even knew where it was at before? Well, we're there now. And so this type of image and the progress of how we can get there. And there's times that he, and I want to get to this, you're probably trying to ask, but I can remember his junior year, we could have won or been progressed into the finals even further, but Myles ran with an attitude that you aren't going to stop me between here and that end zone. And we lost a big game at Culver Military early in the year. I think it was a 45-43 ball
play,
game.
Wasn't it?
At halftime, those refs were wore out, just the scoring. But he knocked in a touchdown with under a minute to go that could have went just go down. and we'll either kick a field goal with Conroy, or you can knock it in yourself and run the clock out and win. Well, we did the same thing in a regional. We were over at Garrett. The ball game was back and forth. They were undefeated, and we knocked the score in where I literally think he went through 7 people after he left the line of scrimmage and piled it, drived it into the end zone. I'm running down the sidelines yelling, go down, because it's 3rd down, and he gets that adrenaline flowing, and he knocked it in. Here we gave Garrett the ball back, and 3 plays later they win the ball game. Where we could, that's something he learned, because when he was a senior, there's 1 or 2 times
he remembered
that definitely in the tournament run, and I think it was a big game against. I couldn't remember which one it is because we had so many home games last year. But he actually broke into the opportunity. Could have walked in. He slid 35, 40 yards, but went down.
Yep. I remember that.
And when he did, he came over to the sideline and goes, I should have done that last year, right, Coach?
Is that the first thing he said?
That's the first thing he did. So it's a learning experience that now getting him into college, so people are going to have a great advantage.
You know, and something that stuck out to me when I'd go to the practices and hear you guys communicate with each other was he always would call you sir. He'd always say, yes, sir, no, sir. And he just seemed like he treated everyone with respect. And I'm sure that's the kind of player that you want to coach. You want to coach someone that's coachable. And I know that you've talked about that too, Neill, when you had your stint, coaching basketball here at Knox. Having guys and girls that are coachable, and someone like Myles, I'm sure that makes your job a heck of a lot easier when they don't argue with you.
Well, there's sometimes, you got 40-some kids out there. They got all kind of different ideas, nationality, girlfriends, religion, everything in the world. One plays guitar, one wants long hair. But how do we get that respect all at one time? That is the one thing that Myles is different than anybody else. That he can he kind of demands it in a way that when the game and we're on this field, we're going to respect each other all the time.
Yeah. And another thing I think is really cool is you've always done this for years in your gym and in the weight room is you have a countdown clock that counts down to the state championship.
I think it's like 187 right now.
187. And, that kind of sets the bar for the team. It kind of lets everyone know, hey, these are the expectations I have for this team. These are the expectations we want to achieve. And I know it didn't end the way you guys had wanted it to there at Bishop Luers in the semi-state. But I feel like out of all the teams you've coached, of course, you've been in the big show. You've done this. You've been there and done that. But for some reason, my heart tells me that this year with Myles is a special one for you because I think it's something I'd like to say you won't forget this past year. Am I right in saying that?
Well, only because there's a couple more McLaughlins coming up. So there is a future for Knox football. That's exciting. But they live and exemplify that same thing of the Workmans, the Finger Huts, and the McLaughlins that have all combined into this. We have grandmas and grandpas and aunts, and when he's at these different award ceremonies, they're always showing up and wanting to see what it is. And it's not a big glamour show. It's not just stepping out in front that we have to be the number one all the time. And I think that's what it'll be hard to not remember a lot of great things that took place this year. And the growth from what your initial question was, freshman year to sophomore year to junior year. And then when everybody said, there's no way he can reach those goals.
Yeah.
That is totally impossible to think it's going to happen this year.
And it did.
And it did. Without anybody doing anything other than I can still remember I go, Neill, you better get ready. You've never seen anything like what's going to happen when those phone calls come through. And TVs and people wanting to show up for meetings and interviews and when I can do them or whatever, he put the clamp down on it and was able to control it to a point that made it fun for everybody. And with today's media and how you can get stuff instantly in Minnesota or watch it in Washington or Washington, D.C. is just unbelievable. And how to get all that coordinated where we could have blown a stack or, some fuse could have went off.
Drop the ball.
And somebody said, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. It took a lot of effort. And so I'm just glad that there's a lot of athletic directors I had that wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah.
No way. Secretaries, principals, the whole group, teachers, education, and everything. How we didn't let anything get interrupted. But by God, we had a lot of fun with it. And if you saw that crowd that was at the Angola game, that entire stands was packed.
Yeah.
It was packed.
Yeah, it was. And like he said, it's the amount of media that last 2 games we had at home, I had to strategically place them and barely fit. I had to have a couple sit outside of writers because I just couldn't get everybody in there with our clock taker and things like that. And like Coach said, they're wanting to get at him all the time, and he's focused and he's doing one thing, and that's coaching the team, and that's kind of what I took the responsibility away from him and thought, you know what, I'm going to do everything I can with these people, get him when I need to or at right moments, but he needs to stay focused on him and Myles both. But they did a great job of taking interviews, but we'd have to set them up, and it was like I said, it was great though. It was looking back on that was a very fun time for our community, and the crowds, that was worth it. Just hearing the roar, that first touchdown against Angola, and just it was I've never seen anything like it, and we were very proud of the coaches, football team, and Myles, and it was just very special to see.
And on top of all that, you did your normal athletic director duties.
Correct.
Dealing with the schedules.
Yeah, scheduling and
all the other sports.
Volleyball games at home, having to supervise, and which is fine. I love the volleyball team, supporting them as well, and they had a solid season as well, and they're young and upcoming, so they're going to be fun to watch over the next few years. And it's cross country and golf and tennis, and still doing those, but yeah, football definitely put us on the map as far as going places. And I'd have on a Knox hoodie, and my youngest daughter goes to IU, and I went down there to a football game with her, and at least 10 people saw a Knox hoodie that I had on and asked if I knew Myles McLaughlin. So it's kind of funny to see that. Yeah. So it was but like I said, just a fun time for everyone, and what the coaching staff did such a great job too that people don't really talk about is to keep all those other players focused as well, because we all know that Myles is all about his teammates, but when the media called, who'd they want to talk to? Myles. And they did a nice job of not being like, this isn't the Myles show, it's we play as a team and stuff. And Myles, like I said, he was great about that. I remember a reporter saying to him, your team, and he's like, oh wait, that's not my team. He said, I just play on this team, and he said, those guys up front, the way they block for me, I wouldn't be able to put up the numbers, and he's right. And I thought for the football coaches to get those guys dialed in the way they did was just tremendous. And you didn't hear much. I mean, the football team they'd come to me after every game. The lineman would be the first one saying, how many yards Myles get tonight? And that's what they wanted to know. They took pride on trying to get him as many yards as possible. They supported him the whole entire way, and he supported them the whole way. And like I said, that's kudos to the coaching staff for implementing that as a team aspect into a situation like that. It could have went,
it could have been jealousy.
Right. It could have, and not one time did that ever happen like that. And just to see the community too rise up and support, and people calling me like, hey, what do you need? If you guys need this or that, and just so many people wanting to help out and say they were a part of something like that is tremendous.
Man, it doesn't matter if it was at the IU game. I went to the Notre Dame North Carolina State game, and I happened to be sitting talking to a friend of mine who was a referee, and we were down like the 7th, 8th row, and there's 9 guys that are sitting there, and all they're talking about is this Myles McLaughlin kid. And going on and on. I didn't interrupt them, or I didn't tell them who I was or nothing, okay? I just enjoyed listening to people that didn't even know where Knox was before at Notre Dame. And these are the big wigs, the big money people that are talking and so forth. That's the thing that kind of makes me feel good, and realizing that the young man is doing something for Knox that will be hard to duplicate or to ever happen again. But I think there's been 34 Mr. Footballs in the state of Indiana. Did you ever think one would come from Knox? I don't know. And then we got one here. And you can never take that away. And Gatorade Player of the Year and all these other things. The scholarship money he's gotten that's been donated to our athletic program and so forth, that's been brought in is not just for football, it's for all Knox athletes. So it's all good. It's all good. Plus, like any good thing, sometimes sunset comes and it's over. And but you got to remember the next day the sun's going to come up on that other side.
Let's see. That was
and come June 1st,
back to work.
5:30 in the morning. First workout right here at Knox.
And we'll be
there.
And you'll begin your 50th.
And I'm hoping to get through 50 years of coaching football.
Which
but this is something that's different than any other that happened this last year. So I'm glad I was a part of it.
And out of the 49 years you've coached, have you ever coached a Mr. Football in Indiana?
No.
So this is the first one.
Yeah. I've had kids that went on to scholarships and played at.
You've coached a lot of great athletes.
West Point and Army, or at IU and Purdue and all these. Sure, yeah, but never an inclination that this could be a Mr. Football.
Wow.
And it took a lot of publicity. I'm talking about. You have to have flyers. You have to have papers. You have to send them out.
Right.
We got those to every football coach as well as every athletic director too, right?
Yep.
In the state of Indiana. And when you put that type of work into it, that's what I couldn't have done or anybody on my staff. So.
Two-part question. We'll start with you, Neill, and then I'll come to you, Coach. A memory or a story about Myles you'll always remember, and then also what's your favorite stat of his that he achieved?
Breaking the Indiana rushing record, that's very special because no one believed that would be accomplished for a long time anyway. And for him to do that was great. And a memory, probably his interception to seal the game. That was a great one versus it was Angola, late in the game, and he scored on the other end and then goes and intercepts it to seal the deal. But yeah, just the whole thing. It's hard to pick just one because there's so many times that we whether
anything off the field
or. No, not really. I mean, we've fished together and things like that. Just
sure.
Normal stuff, but nothing crazy I can think about.
That interception against Angola.
Yep.
Coach O, let's talk about a memory of Myles that maybe you had him growing up, off the field, on the field. A good memory you'll have of his. Also, what's your favorite stat that stands out?
The best memory is the night I came into the locker room and can't remember which game it was at the end of the season, and. Everybody's got to clean up the locker room, pick everything up for the janitors, make sure everything's there. And I walked over and I asked a couple of players, who's that stuff? Myles's. I go, Myles has left all his uniform, his clothes. Maybe he's outside, Coach. I go, there's nobody out there. The lights are off. Everybody's gone. You're the last 2 or 3. I'm waiting for your parents to come pick you up. And they did not say it's somebody else's or mine. It's Myles. That's Myles' stuff. And then it's like, well, what are we going to do, Coach? I go, I'm going to call his mom.
Oh, no.
And we went in and called his mom on the phone and told her what had happened. And she said he'll be the first thing there tomorrow morning, and he'll get his locker room and his locker cleaned up. So that is something that shows that he's still a teenager. He still forgets to do things. He forgot to pick up his corner, but nobody was going to pick it up for him.
Yeah.
You still have your responsibility. And they told me who it was. And we got a hold of Mom. And Mom made sure he was there the next morning early at 7:30 to get his locker cleaned up. I think I kind of said, if you want me to say anything on the radio, you might want to have it cleaned up before I leave for the 8 o'clock meeting. But I don't know. But
he didn't want the season to end.
That's true. That's great, But there's so many great things that happen all the time. It's the little things that happen behind the scene. Kind of that story again where he told me, he came aside and I says, that's what I should have done last year, right, Coach? I go, yep. But we can't change that. Let's keep working on what we're doing. Yeah. And those could have been stats that he could have been grabbing. But he's not an egotistical individual of just me. He knew what he should have done at that time. And at that time, he could have said, well, I went ahead and scored it anyway, Coach, but that's where you want me to go down from now on? No, he showed everybody and the public, and that bad vibes that a lot of people were maybe saying got cleared up immediately when they saw him going down. So,
and a stat of yours or a stat of his that you think's pretty neat.
Well, being able to phenomenally every time he carried the ball in his entire lifetime at Knox High School, he averaged better than 10 yards per carry.
That's a first down.
Yes.
That's a first down.
You didn't bring that one. That wasn't up there.
He didn't put that one down.
Well, we divided everything up because that's what he averaged more than 10 yards per carry for every time he ever carried the ball at Knox, his freshman through his senior year. Wow. I think that's a stat that's just phenomenal.
Yep.
It's kind of like what they asked Woody Hayes one time. He goes, well, why do you it's something about the extra point. And why do you go for 2? Because they don't give me 3. Exactly what he told the guy. If you give me 3 for kicking it,
I'll do it.
Fine, but you only give me 1.
Yeah,
I'm going for 2 the rest of the time because it's just common sense.
Yeah,
and that's what we did a lot of. That's only 3 yards, and if all we got to do is get that 3 yards, we're going after it.
Wow,
then that's something that's kind of ironic in that situation too.
Well, I sure do appreciate you guys coming in and talking about Myles and all the work that you had done behind the scenes. Athletic Director Neill Minix here, just really incredible what you and I know Amy Webb right behind you, just doing a lot of stuff over this year, but also doing your duties. And then Coach, like I said in the ceremony, the coaching staff along with you, the work that goes on behind the scenes, I think it goes unnoticed a lot of times because you're putting on a show out on the football field, but they're not thinking, well, we were there June 1st at 5:30 in the morning. We were doing things to prepare this team so that we could put on a good show for you on Friday night. And I think what Myles did is not only a testament to what you guys had done, but the coaching staff had set the bar high. And I really appreciate you guys coming in and being part of this ceremony. It was a great afternoon, and thank you so much for taking your time.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mitch.
Keep it up.
All right, that is head coach of the Knox Redskins football team, Russ Radtke, and athletic director at Knox Community High School, Neill Minix, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're taking a break. More sports talk on the way.
Myles takes the snap. He's rolling out to the right. Oh, my gosh. He hurdles a player, and then he's tackled at the 20-yard line. He hurdled Wyatt Hart, 5'10". From shotgun, it's Myles McLaughlin. He's got Jake Conroy to his right. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff up the middle. He's going to get the first down and more. Breaks the 35 to the 40, down to the 45 to the 50, and he's finally brought down on the other side of the field. Myles McLaughlin, huge run for a first down, and he comes up a little hobbled, Coach. McLaughlin from shotgun takes the snap, breaks away, crosses the 50, wrapped up, breaks away again, the 35 to the 30, to the far side of the field, 20, 10, wrapped up to the 5, to the 2, and he goes out of bounds. Well, there he is.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbe and Chris McGowen on the longest running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
Are you tired of slow speeds, rising bills, or internet that struggles when everyone's online? Then now is the time to make the switch to Surf Internet. Here's why Aaron switched.
Competitive prices, no contracts, reliable service, and nice people to work with.
Switch today so you can experience the surf difference. Fiber internet plans start at just $30 a month with AutoPay, plus free installation and no contracts. Visit surfinternet.com today. Restrictions apply. Not all speeds available in all areas.
You're listening to Mitch Columbe and Chris McGowen on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
And we welcome you back to the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios for the final Saturday sports line of the 2025-2026 school year. I'm with our sports analyst, Chris McGowen. Another one in the books, Chris.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, seems like just like yesterday we were starting the very first show of the 25-26 season, but yeah, it's been another great year for sure.
We have
memorable,
very memorable. A lot of things happened, of course, in the football season. We made it all the way to semi-state in basketball. A great basketball season overall. We saw some exciting basketball games. You'd helped out on a lot, and then here in baseball, we're still hoping for a big time game on Monday, as we definitely know we'll be somewhere because Oregon Davis and South Central are taking on each other today. So whoever wins that game would be in the sectional championship game. So I'm kind of thinking that might be where we are on Monday. But as far as the Saturday sports line, this is the last show for the 2025-2026 school year. Man, I can't believe it's 2026. This is crazy.
I know, a blink of an eye.
Well, we have a lot of people to thank. We have our sponsors to talk about, but we also have a lot of individuals that put a lot of hard work and time behind the scenes. And I want to start off with our owners. Della.
Well, I want to start with you and all the time and effort you put into this, running around and doing all this and setting up at games and all that. I tell you what, it's impressive what you do night in, night out, and week in, week out to put this show together. I just show up and talk. You know that's
do more than that.
Well, I mean, but
you know what's going on.
I know what's going on, but there are times I'll walk in and hey, so who we got today?
Sure.
You know, you're the one setting up the interviews and this and that, and just running yourself ragged. It's so kudos to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But I did want to start off with our owners, Della and George Mammarella. When I came back to WKVI, they had just purchased the station, and they've really done a great job of taking this station. I call it the new era since I've been here, and they've been so supportive of the sports department and having my back, and really happy with what we've been able to do in the sports department as a whole. So I know that they're listening right now. So Della and George, thank you so much for being so supportive of me over the years, especially this year. It's been a long year, but we sure do appreciate our owners. Without them, we wouldn't have anybody like them. It'd be a little different than it would be without them. So what they've done for the station, it's a lot. It's extensive. There's just not enough thank yous that we could give to them. But the amount of time, effort, and money that they've put into this station to make things happen for us so that we can continue this wonderful tradition for all of us here in this community. We've talked about how special WKVI is to the community. We've talked about how these kids are listening to WKVI now. Their parents, their grandparents, since 1969. This station is a fabric of this community, and not just Knox, but all the surrounding schools we mentioned: West Central, Winamac, Culver, Knox, North Judson, Oregon Davis, South Central, Tri-Township. They are benefiting for what we are doing for these schools where, like we've said before, most broadcast stations cover maybe one, maybe two, sometimes three. But what we're able to do is really fantastic for the community, and we really appreciate our owners, Della and George Mammarella. I also want to thank our general manager, Lenny Dessauer. Lenny's just been fantastic for me. I met him in the fall of 2013 at a job fair in Indianapolis, and that is how I met Lenny. And was given the opportunity in 2014. I was a sideline reporter for Tony Ross as well as Harold Welter, and that's really how the relationship started. I got an opportunity back in Indianapolis in Central Indiana. I worked in television there, and then once that run ended, I kind of left broadcasting, and Lenny had hit me up when Harold had retired and said, would you be interested in coming back? And that was in the summer of 2022. So that's how I ended up back here at WKVI, and if it wasn't for that great relationship I have with Lenny, I don't know if I'd ever been here. So I appreciate meeting you down in Indy at that job fair. Of course, I'm there. Everybody's there. All these kids are there. We're dressed up nice. All these broadcast kids, and they're wanting to be on TV. All these television stations are there. And I'd walk by the booth. It was a WKVI booth, and I remember him and the general manager at the time, Jerry Curtis, said, "You ever think about getting into radio?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, because I'm there. We're gonna be a big TV star, Chris." And I just remember that's how it started. I laid my resume down, and they reached out to me. They said I was somebody that stuck out to them. So I just really appreciate the relationship with Lenny Dessauer. He's just been so helpful. The sideline reporting idea came from Lenny. When I was a sideline reporter with Tony and Harold, Lenny had the idea of, here's the technology. We can do this. And that's now how we're able to have you. That was over 12 years ago that we started that. And then when I came back, I said, hey, Lenny, I want to do that. And that's how we got you down on the field, which you love it. You love being down there on the field.
Yeah, because if I can't coach it, I still want to be part of the action, and I'm down there, and I get to still hear all the coaches and what they're saying, and to be able to relay some of that I can awesome. Relay. It's a good time, and you're talking about you being on TV to start with, and then transitioning over to radio. I just keep thinking in my mind. I get reminded all the time by my brother that I have a face for radio.
Yeah. Well, he will say that.
Yeah,
but you got the personality.
He's constantly reminding me about my pretty face.
But you got a personality as a movie star.
Oh,
You're a big star, baby.
Yeah.
You're a big star here in the area.
All right, let's move on.
But, the thing is about having you down on the field is, a lot of color commentators are up next to the broadcaster in the booth, but we actually have Chris down on the field, and I've listened to a lot of great broadcasters over the years, and I've emulated a lot from them. But nobody has their color commentator down on the field. Usually they have a sideline reporter. They may get 3-4 reports throughout the game. I'm literally talking with Chris in between each play. He is talking on the field, describing what he's seeing. He gets halftime interviews. He finds out about injuries right there on the field. It's just really cool what we've been able to do. So I appreciate Lenny for coming up with that idea all those years ago, and for us to bring that back around. Also want to thank Rich Wallen, the producer for the WKVI morning show. Rich Wallen just does so much for this station. He's just a super talented guy, a wonderful musician. He plays the piano by ear. This guy is just something else, and he's our lead salesman each month. He gets out into the public, gets into the community. You think about all the broadcasts we've done, Chris. He's on the air Monday through Friday, all year round. So he's on the air the most out of all of us. And the time, effort, and energy that Rich Wallen puts into the morning show, along with sales, should not go unnoticed. He's working his you-know-what off to support this station, to get us where we want to be, and to continue this amazing tradition, not just in sports, but as a whole. Doing what he does is really, it should never go unnoticed. Rich Wallen, we appreciate him, and I appreciate his relationship over the years and friendship we've gained. We really work well together. I also want to thank Chris Milner. Chris Milner, we deal with her. She deals with billing, payroll. She also helps me behind the scenes of sponsors we should reapproach that maybe aren't with us anymore, but also gives me ideas of what we could approach new sponsors. And then she's the individual that I get with. Hey, Chris, I'm going live at Friday on Friday at 5 or something like that. She's the person that makes sure it gets scheduled in the log. So we work together quite a bit. We talk a lot. We have a great relationship. She told me the other day, her first day for WKVI. She's the longest tenured KVB employee. July 15th, 1984.
Wow.
She's coming up on 42 years. So whenever you come to WKVI, Chris Milner, she is so important to us here at WKVI and Max 98.3 FM. We appreciate Chris Milner and everything that she's done for us over the years. She's just so amazing. Also wanted to give a shout out to our news director, Becca Shepard. She does an amazing job. She'll be writing stories that will be coming out this Monday on WKVI.com about Myles McLaughlin, our athlete of the year here on WKVI, as well as Ileana Grubbs on Max 98.3, the Tony the Boss Ross Max 98.3 athlete of the year. So I appreciate Becca Shepard. She's doing a fantastic job. You hear her voice every hour throughout the week at the top of the hour for the news reports and everything that she does behind the scenes. I was in news when I first came back here. I know the effort, the time, the energy that goes into news. It's daunting, and a lot of meetings you have to sit through, a lot of meetings and information you have to get out there. So I appreciate Becca Shepard. I also want to go down the list of all the individuals that helped us on this on the sports broadcast throughout the year. Justin Ruff, who has done a great job from Winnemac, of course, he's helped me as a color commentator. He's also done sideline reporting on location. So like where you and I will be at a game, he will be somewhere else, and we'll get live reports from him on location. I think that's really cool. Also want to give a shout out to Kenny Nielsen. He joined us again for Week 2 football. West Central guy. He joins us for that West Central broadcast Week 2. We have you go somewhere else, Chris. Wanted to give a shout out to Kenny Nielsen. Also, shout out to Paul Dunn. He hasn't been helping us as much as he had when I first got back here because he's just pulled everywhere there at Culver. He also does work here at Knox. as the PA announcer, but we did get Paul to step in for a game at Winnemac, his alma mater. So shout out to Paul Dunn and all the effort, the work that he does, getting score sheets, and he will put the rosters together in beautiful color print, very meticulous. The work that he does is incredible. Also wanted to thank Tim Roth. He helped us for the game. Remember that Winnemac game? And I think I'd kind of like to do that every year, to have him at least do one of the Winnemac games, the home games. It would be really cool to have him up in the booth and then you down there on the field.
Yeah, especially if it's Winnemac North Judson. That makes it even more special.
I also wanted to give a shout out to my good friend Scott Blessing of Back Home Again Media. He put together a really good highlight video after that week 1 football game between North Judson and Knox that used our audio as well, and he's done some other videos for me. He did a documentary for me that will be coming out later this summer about what we do here at WKVI. He is just fantastic, just a really good friend of mine. Went to Vincennes University together, and we've always kept in contact. He also came back for week 6 and did a nice highlight video for North Judson, that tight defensive battle against Triton. So Scott Blessing, check out Back Home Again Media. He does amazing work. He actually followed the Rensselaer Bombers and got to meet head coach
Chris Meeks.
No, well, maybe it's
we're talking about Wes Radtke.
Radtke, yeah, he got to meet Coach Radtke, and that was pretty cool. The connection there with North Judson. So if you ever get a chance to check out Back Home Again Media, he does this freelancing, just kind of a videographer that loves to do this on the side, and he's been keeping an eye on me and said he loved what he'd see, so he wanted to come and support WKVI, KVB as a whole. So I appreciate Scott Blessing. Also wanted to give a shout out to Nathan Orger. He's our softball color commentator. He just does a great job. He's hilarious. He's so witty. North Judson grad. So thank you to Nathan Orger for your time and effort. He is the Pulaski County Community Development Executive Director. So he's kind of a big deal there in Pulaski County. I don't think he'd say that, but I'll say it for him. So he's very busy and pulled multiple ways throughout the week. So for him to give us his time, I really do appreciate Nathan Orger. Also appreciate Kevin Hannon, our baseball color commentator. Kevin, a former area baseball head coach, loves baseball, was here at Knox, I want to say 16 years. He coached at South Central, just a very good coach over the years, and to have a coach's perspective up in the booth with me is just very helpful. So I want to thank Kevin Hannon for his time as well. Also wanted to thank Harold Welter. He does such an amazing job on the Where They Now segment towards the end of the Saturday Sports Line, where he talks to area athletes from times before. Of course, this station has been covering sports since 1969. There's a lot of individuals Harold gets with, catches up, sees how they're doing. It's really awesome. So we appreciate him as well. And also joined me for some softball games this year as well. And that was just really awesome. So I appreciate WKVI legend Harold Welter. Also want to thank John Thompson, our in-game announcer. Whenever you hear these liners, whenever you hear now time for the Saturday Sports Line, that's John Thompson, my good friend, graduated high school with him, played basketball with him. He's just a talented guy. He does a little bit of everything, but to have his voice kind of pumps me up because we were teammates. So when we go into these games, I hear his voice, now time for the keys to the game, stuff like that. He just really gets me amped up and ready for the broadcast. So I want to thank John. You hear his voice here during the Saturday Sports Line as well. Also want to thank you, Chris. Everything that you do and the time, the effort that you give us, you do a lot for what you do there at Tri-Township. So the fact that you're able to give us your time, and I know you love it, but at least you come to these games. You're up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and when we do these football games, you're not leaving the football. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand, the time behind this.
Well, yeah, because my time at Tri-Township is coming to an end. This is going to be my last week after golf, and so I'm currently looking for a new job. But yeah, to get up and leave the house at 5:15, 5:30 every morning to drive a bus route, then teach math, drive a bus route.
And then get to the game to broadcast. And then football season, we're not getting home until 11:30 midnight. So I just really appreciate
that. And I'll let you finish, and I may have to add a couple thank yous. So let me see what you got there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the time, the effort, the energy, you're helping out in basketball season when you can, since you aren't coaching at this time right now, has been really helpful to get your insight. And to have you, I think when I came on was really helpful because you knew a lot of the people in the area that I didn't know, and you were kind of a great bridge for people that were comfortable talking to you. They weren't just feeling like they were talking to the new guy where it would be a little nervous at first. I think it helped having you to kind of bridge that gap. You had said you weren't sure when the new guy was coming in if you would be used. Right. And when Lenny said, well, there's a guy, Chris McGowen, that's been helping Harold the last several years, up to 10 years or at the time it was. And he said, he may be good help for you. And I said, absolutely, I'll take what I could get because I didn't want to be alone. So to have you and the Saturday Sports Line, we've grown it, taking it to new heights. It's really awesome what we've done. So I appreciate you being here every Saturday throughout the school year and also being available for broadcast. It's really fun. So thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
No, absolutely.
And I want to throw out a couple other people that Jim Collins. He helped us do a game or two, and Buzz Schoaf.
Yes, Buzz Schoaf.
So just a couple more thank yous there to help us through the football season.
Yeah, we did that game with Buzz Schoaf, a semi-state game there at Bishop Luers, hosting the Knox Redskins. And an interesting story, I got an email from a defensive coordinator at Bishop Luers who's been there for over 20 years, and he said he saw our broadcast because I post them after the fact on my personal YouTube and X pages. And he said he watched that broadcast, and he said that was one of the better broadcasts. He said, I know you were there for Knox, but he said that was one of the better broadcasts I've ever heard for Bishop Luers, and we don't even cover them.
Right.
So he said, I wanted to give you guys a great shout-out. He said, your guy down on the field, he said, we'd never seen that before, and he said, obviously, the guy you had in the booth was very knowledgeable, Buzz Schoaf. So I just wanted to bring that up, that it's pretty cool what we've added to the realm of things. We're airing the games first, always on the radio, but after the fact, we are uploading these games via video. I video record them in the moment. I got all this equipment, just kind of myself, wanted to do this to kind of add to the flair of what we're doing here at WKVI. That's under Mitch's Inside Mic on YouTube and X. You can watch full broadcasts. I uploaded, it was a big project last summer. I uploaded every broadcast I've ever done for WKVI dating back to the fall of 2022, put them in chronological order. Obviously, the first couple of years are just audio only. My third year, last year, was just video of me in the booth, but then this year we added a camera on the field to show the actual action that's going on the football field, the basketball court, and the baseball field. So you can go to Mitch's Inside Mic on YouTube and X. Every Saturday Sports Line I've done is in there. Just go to the playlist. You'll be able to categorize it by what year, what show, the descriptions say who's in each show. It's just something that I wanted to do to preserve the history here at WKVI. I think that's very, very important, is preserving our history, to showcase what we've done, to showcase who we cover. I think that is very important, at least for me. And a lot of these kids are going back and watching these games. The kids that are in the game, they can't watch it live, or listen live, I should say. So this is an opportunity for them to go back and watch these highlights, Saturday shows. Coaches are watching them. So it's just really cool. So I appreciate everyone that helped out throughout the season, as we'll now transition and thank our sponsors. And I want to start off, without these individuals, we wouldn't be able to continue this tradition. It's very important that we have sponsors. That's how we're able to keep the lights on. That's how we're able to keep things rolling here at WKVI. These are all full-time employees here at WKVI. We rely on these jobs to support ourselves. Obviously, Chris is kind of a what would you call this? This is just a... Would you say this is just a secondary job?
Yeah, it's kind of I do it just to give back. I mean,
sure.
It's not about the money. It's about just being able to, because like I said, growing up, WKVI was something that we always listened to. If WKVI was at a basketball game or a football game, we always got back into the locker room as quick as we could and would turn on the radio to listen to the post game. So it's just something that, just to give back.
Yeah.
And to keep that tradition going, and it's for the kids. That's why we do this. It's not for us. It's for the kids.
And that's what it is for the sponsors. It's about supporting these kids to allow WKVI to continue covering them. So I'll go down the list of all these sponsors. If you're out and about, make sure you spend your money with these people. They're the people that care enough to want to help continue this tradition. We're always looking for more sponsors. We're always needing more sponsors. In this day and age, a lot of people say say radio isn't what it was. Well, here in this pocket, radio is very special to these communities, and it's very special. If your name is listed in this list, that means you are part of the upper echelon that wants to be part of continuing this tradition. So remember these individuals I name here: Coca-Cola, Culver's Portside Marina, Farm Fertilizers, First Farmers Bank and Trust, Todd and Josh Lawrence of Lawrence Farms, Mark's Body Shop in Knox, Zingo Express, L&D Farms, Pulaski Memorial Hospital, Stark County Co-op, Collins Insurance. I got a text from Jim Collins a few moments ago. He said, great show today. Shout out to you, Jim Collins. We appreciate your help through this sponsorship of continuing this amazing tradition. Howard's Marathon of Winnemac has been on a long time. 5 Star, of course, has been on a long time. Kankakee Valley RAMC, LAP Waste, Osborne Advantage Real Estate, First Choice Insurance of North Judson and Knox, McGrath Refrigeration, Web Printing, and JT Shirt Shack. We also have underwriters to mention. Something that Rich Wallen, a genius idea from Rich Wallen for the smaller packages that are more attractive to some of these businesses, where he will mention these individuals throughout the week during his morning show. These are underwriters mentioned throughout the year in the morning during the WKVI morning show. Knox Chevrolet, Food Barn, Patrick Auto Group, the Knox VFW members, DC Garage Doors, the Pit Stop, Traffic Control, High Star, the Hangar in La Crosse, Mark Bailey, Chester Ag Systems, Stark County Community Foundation, the Knox Winnemac Community Health Center, Lockmundy Ford in Knox, Mayor Dennis Eastock in the city of Knox, the Bolt family at our local McDonald's locations, Stark County Sheriff Jack Rosa, Trevor Seabach at 2K Benefits, the Sherilyn Welter Charitable Foundation. All of these individuals are very important to WKVI. Without them, we wouldn't be able to continue this, and it really is. It would be so sad if we ever were not here. If you really think about that, it would be too late. It would be too late. You'd feel terrible, and it would be too late. And you wouldn't be able to help us say, well, why aren't they at these games? They should be here. We need to do this. We need to do that. Well, we need your support. We need your help. I can't bang my head on the table any harder than that. We need your help and support to continue this tradition. It is a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of work that goes into this. We're not just flicking on the light and start talking and laughing. There's a lot of preparation. There's a lot of pre-game work. There's a lot of pre-show work. There's a lot of post-show work. There's a lot of things that have to go on behind the scenes that people who think they should be in broadcasting have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. And that's not a shot. That's just saying there's work behind this. We're not just flipping on the light and having fun. There is effort. There is time. There is energy. There is heart and soul. You talked about it last year. You've being a coach and doing this line of work. It's ruined relationships. I've ruined relationships doing this job because I put it first. And that's what it takes. The effort, the energy, the time. We need sponsors, and we need them more than ever. We just need more. Please consider reaching out to us and letting us know you want to be a part of this tradition. For those that are already part of this tradition, like Mark's Body Shop, they're here in town. I talk to them often throughout the year, like Culver's Portside Marina, Collins Insurance, Howard's Marathon. Those individuals
from the Pulaski,
they understand what we do. They understand everything that goes on, and we appreciate them for knowing that. So if you have anyone in mind, if you own a business, if you know anyone that would be interested in supporting the amazing things that we do here, please reach out to us, 574-772-6241. Reach out to me, Mitch at WKVI.com. Get a hold of Rich Wallen. Get a hold of Chris Milner, Lenny Dessauer, Della and George Mammarella. Let them know you want to be a part of something amazing here at WKVI. Without our sponsors, Chris, we couldn't continue.
Exactly. We want to continue to grow this and make it every year. We want to be bigger and better. And it's the nature of the beast. It takes money to do that. But again, you're getting something out of it, because you're not only are you helping us promote local athletics, but you're also promoting your business.
Yes.
So there's a win. It's a win-win, really.
Yeah, it really is. And another one I just read on the list I forgot was TC Printers in Plymouth. They're both on Max and 98.3. They had told me I'd just put their new ad on the air, and they had someone call them just like that within the week. So that tells you people are still listening to us. People are still tuning in to hear where we're at during these games. So those commercials that air, they will not fall on deaf ears. It just needs to be repetitive over and over again. Also, another one I forgot to mention was Frayne Mortuary. We appreciate all of our sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be able to continue this. But as of right now, that will be the last Saturday show of the 2025-2026 school year. Chris, it's been a lot of fun. We saw a lot of highlights. We saw a lot of great games. It was just a lot of fun, and it's been an honor to work alongside you for our 4th year together. We're seniors now. We're graduated.
I'm getting up there to be a senior citizen, so I'm almost to the point where I can get a senior citizen coffee at McDonald's.
You got, 15 more years?
Yeah. So I'm getting
there. 15 more years.
Well, my body feels like it's 65. How's that?
Well, finally, we congratulate our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year Award, Myles McLaughlin, very deserving, Chris. We congratulate him and his entire family. You think about the family, they raised a good one, and even his younger brothers competing against him. He just was in a really strong household there that made him the athlete he was.
Yeah, just a tremendous kid, tremendous family, and last weekend I ran into him and his brother. They were actually on the golf course there, a hole in front of me. So every once in a while on the tee box we'd run into him, and we would chat. So it was a good time. But
I'm interested to see what he does at Murray
right,
State.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Just the kid with an attitude and work ethic like that. There's no way he's not going to be successful.
Well, we sure do appreciate all of our listeners. Without you, it wouldn't be worth doing. So thank you so much. Messaging me throughout the year, telling us you liked what we did. Also making sure to let me know you didn't like what we did. We appreciate having listeners nonetheless. It means a lot. This award is a very big deal, and we always love giving it out each week throughout the Saturday Sports Line, the longest running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. We will be back in August, 3rd week, to start week 1 of Indiana high school football. We'll also have our season preview show at Papa Farm Pizza, where we'll talk to all of our area football coaches. So it's not goodbye, it's just see you later. Until August, you enjoy the rest of your summer. I'm Mitch Columbe. The tradition continues.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with Sports Director Mitch Columbe and Sports Analyst Chris McGowen.
He's going to score. Somehow he stays on his feet. The Panthers couldn't bring him down. He's putting his hands in the air like, what do you want? I'm doing it all, baby. Touchdown Redskins, 50-28, 5:57 to go in the ball game.